the entire summing up of the past 5 days program, we will have a final picture today. Because what we have learned through these days on teaching methods or methodology, how are we going to put it into practice? It's all very well to say, oh, this is a methodology, let us follow it. But how are we actually going to put into practice and get good results out of it? So this is what Brother Ananta Krishna will be explaining today, along with a few other things which are overlapped from yesterday's. Sai Ram, we didn't start with the prayer, I'm sorry. Let us say the prayer. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Sathya Devaya Dhimahe Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Over to Brother Ananta Krishna.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering ourselves at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Swami, revered elders, revered mothers, dear brothers and sisters. Today is the last day of this workshop, and we really feel a kind of, a bond which has been established all these days, and this kind of audience, really, it is so very touching, the audience for any speaker. See, Swami's staff is the best audience. If we go to the outside society, probably we will not get this kind of audience at all. They will not understand many of the things which, which are the basis of our institutions. And they have their own way of, their own expectations, their own way of conducting workshops or different. All that is required. In fact, I have attended number of workshops, even as a teacher, as a CBSE teacher, and very good ones, in fact, I have attended. I have found in every one of them, even as I was learning all through my life, I was finding that all of them, they were just focusing on the periphery. The periphery part of it. They are not actually going to the basis of it. See, the basis is very simple actually. It is not very complicated. It is actually very simple. The basis is, there will be, in Ayurveda we say root cause. We say root cause. The English medicine, MBBS, it treats the symptoms. Symptoms it will treat. Externally, what symptoms we get, that it is going to focus on that. And when the symptoms disappear, they think that disease has disappeared. But actually, the fact is that the root cause not being disappeared, I'm sorry, I'm grammatically wrong, not having disappeared, the problem persists. The problem persists. And what is that? Therefore, here also we have a malady. We see a malady, that of, externally, apparently speaking, spoken language, lacuna, spoken language deficiency, handwriting, lack of handwriting, good handwriting. These are the external symptoms for a patient. Let's consider a student to be a patient, and we can say that these are the symptoms of a, So what is the remedy? Being language teacher who is like a physician. Now, who is like a physician, what he should do, if he tries to go towards only the symptoms and tries to, what we say, come on, speak, you're not speaking, therefore speak. And the teacher speaks more, instead of giving chances more to students. And does all things revolving around the symptoms. Okay, you're not writing well. Why you're not writing well? Come on, write well. See, I'll show you. But you're not writing well. So finally what happens? Where we are. Why? Because we are not going towards the root problem. What is that root problem? The psychology of language learning, especially language learning, we need to know as teachers. Every doctor should be also a psychologist, I feel. Unless you, I remember one of the doctors in Chikbalapura had gone, actually one of the very famous doctors, not like to take the name. I had gone to him and I had, generally I don't fall ill, but I had developed somehow a wound, and upon that water had fallen, somehow pus had formed. First time in my life, and I just, it had blown up to bigger proportions. And I went to the doctor, and he told I have to pin it and I have to remove the pus and all that. So, okay, finally he did all that experiments and surgery kind of thing. And, and when I was just talking, he was so ruthless, He was so merciless, and he was just, the way he was handling me also, it was like as if he is handling a machinery, not a human being. I said, what is this kind of doctor he is? And you see, a doctor is one who speaks softly to the patient, instills courage and confidence. By his talk itself, he should win the heart of patient, and 50% of the problem will be gone. That is the work of a doctor. Not, he should not be mechanical. He should treat the patient like God. Jivaha Shivaha. You should see Jiva, Shiva in Jiva. And you've got a patient who is directly the manifestation of divinity in front of you. Serve him like that. So instead of like that, that doctor, if I ask one question extra, yeah, yes, don't ask more. Kind of, snubbing. I was really feeling, what kind of doctors are these who will not allow us to ask questions, who will not allow us to ask doubts, what diet, how we should do, what precaution we should take. And we are getting afraid to even open our mouth. See, he is not a doctor who doesn't love the patient. So, firstly, we should love our students who are like patients, who have different maladies in handwriting and spoken language. And we, being the doctors, we have to go to the root problem. What is the root? As psychologists, we understand, start early, drive slowly, reach safely. If you don't start early, it will not happen. Now, what is the root solution for all patients? We should educate the people saying that don't spoil the liver by, by feeding unnecessary too much junk food in the beginning itself. Let the baby grow to its first some kind of, one stage where the liver is well developed. Then you give it any food, it will digest. Even before the liver is developed, the liver is the most important function, organ which has the most important function in the body. It digests, it produces bile juice. And if the liver is malfunctioning, all diseases arises out of it. Whether it is, therefore Ayurveda specializes, because I have treated myself by Ayurveda. I was a thorough patient. Because I had indulged in so much. I was a glutton, I told you, I was eating so much. I had enjoyed everything, I had explored everything. Even before the age of 15, I had finished all, and I had become diseased also. But I had not become completely diseased. There was still some time for me to come out of it. Therefore, somehow by divine destiny, I found an Ayurvedic doctor who really, I'll not go into details about it, but who, helped me to regain back my health completely with the help of yoga and all that. So therefore, being doctors, what we have to do, we have to understand students' predicament, and we have to understand if this guy doesn't start early, tomorrow he is going to face this problem very much. So first thing is we should know the remedy. Whatever you do later, you jump around, you do all exercise, try east or west, it will not work out. Coming to 8th class, 9th class, you do whatever you want. Can you ever rectify that? It is too late. Therefore, catch them young. This is the first solution of a doctor. Tell them, see, if you don't begin now, it will not happen. Therefore, the first thing is, these are the things we have to remember today. Today, in the end, we'll do some recapitulation also. Catch them young for handwriting or for phonetics or for spoken language. That is the first thing that we have to do as a doctor. Then secondly, we have to understand which one to start. For example, I had in my own trial and error, I found out that, first I began with combination of methods. A combination of methods like listening, and then sometime phonetics in the same class, 40 minutes period, I started giving. It didn't work out because there was so much indiscipline in the class also to control them and to do all these things. Then I understood, when you reflect on that, you understand that this will not work out. You have to focus completely on one aspect. And which is the aspect to be focused? Handwriting is the aspect to be focused. Because later, the more you delay, see what happens, the more you delay the handwriting part, spoken part, everyone can easily pick up. Don't we also pick up languages? We pick up languages by hearing faster, any like. But handwriting part, it is all of us find it difficult to, later pick it up. Therefore, the second aspect of a doctor being language teacher, we have to pick up we have to teach them handwriting first, knowing that it will take long time otherwise. So start with handwriting, focus only on that. Take up one idea, says Vivekananda. Take up one idea, think of it, dream of it, live in that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. That's the way to success. Look at a sentence, take up one idea. Suppose you start cursive handwriting, don't make a chow chow bath of it. 10 minutes of cursive writing, 10 minutes of spoken language. And you may quote all psychologists, other psychologists saying that attention span. Okay, all said, I understand too much long time. But in that cursive writing on period only, how are you going to make it interesting? Narrate some stories if you want, sometime 5-10 minutes. Or, cut jokes. So it's not that every minute you will be torturing them. But then if you don't focus, you will find it later very difficult. The boys will never learn. Children will never learn the cursive writing. So these are the aspects we are going to delve upon. Now today it's a very important day because it's a conclusion and we have to finish all that we have and we want to give you without leaving any residue with us. And therefore, we'll start with one of the best video shows I have ever enjoyed for small children. You'll just enjoy it, I feel. This is my opinion. Please see and enjoy. The way the children will see this and they'll be happy listening to that music, that kind of English, that style and beautiful acting. Though it is cartoon, I have seen it hundreds of times. So, and moreover, all this, Rama, for example, we saw that the other day, Kumbhakarna, all about culture. So what is the great thing that is happening? Entertainment, music, and along with that, we are able to learn English unconsciously without our knowledge. That is what we want. Phonetics and then one paragraph of cursive. And then we'll do two beautiful activities, new activities, which will be very, very enjoyable, which is the way we have to do it for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th students. This is for higher class again. But it's something like, it's testing of true English. Role play, etc. They could simply by heart, they could see and read and they could do it. But what about how do we test true English? See, this is very important. How do we test true English? Only by conversation. So when we give a situation now, I'll give you the instructions in the handouts. So how do we actually do that? Go through the process, we are going to do that. And one listening activity. So all this LSRW, what kind of activity we have seen through all these activities. For example, now listening for entertainment. Then we are going to do for activity for listening. So some listening tasks, worksheets, how it has to be prepared. We have brought the worksheets. We are going to give you. We are going to read out, or it could be played also. If you have a CD or something like that, materials will be available. CBSE board is there and other boards are there. You have to collect the materials. We have to prepare materials for reading out, excerpts and such things. Listening tasks should be given by way of audio visuals. So, or audios or audio visuals, both. So we will show you that. Now 5 minutes of this just review is extremely good. The later part of the film is extremely good. Hopefully we'll try to finish that in the end. We start this. All of you have to just see and start writing. Copy, keeping pace with it. Keep pace with me. Lord Rama, and as we write, it's also important that as we write, we have to read it aloud for the sake of children. Because they'll be listening also. Sometimes it will not be visible properly. So as we write, if we read it aloud, it will help the children to copy better. Rama was the embodiment embodiment of righteousness. Righteousness. Full stop. Rama was an embodiment of righteousness. Full stop. He sacrificed he sacrificed his throne he sacrificed his throne for the sake of for the sake of obeying for the sake of obeying his father, for the sake of obeying his father. Full stop. He banished he banished his wife to forest he banished his wife to forest to uphold people's opinion. The Ramayana the Ramayana is a treasure house is a treasure house of values. Swami says Swami says, comma, open inverted comma, double inverted comma. Swami says, the end of education the end of education is character. Full stop. End of education is character. See the board and write. Children, where? Peoples, yes. People's opinion. Thank you, sister. So even the children will correct us. Sir, dot is not there. The comma is not there. Or I have not closed the inverted comma here. So should I close it before the full stop or after the full stop? After the full stop. After the full stop. Vrinda sister, it is after the full stop. It aloud, you have to quickly go around the children, correcting it. But this is what I have taught you in just 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Cursive writing, it will take for you 4 months, 3 to 4 months to teach it to the children. It will take that much time. Slowly, this is the last stage. Copying paragraph is the last stage. It is very difficult. Truly, it is not easy, sisters and brothers. And I don't know how many, you will have to have a lot of perseverance. It will try your temper. Controlling the children's discipline, getting them to focus. One way is, we may think that 10 minutes of video, 10 or 15 minutes of video, and then 10, 15 minutes of writing would be better. Often even I was thinking like that in the beginning, because I thought attention span and all that, all those things came to my mind. But when I tried it out literally, I found that it's not ending at all. See, the time keeps going and we don't end it at all. It takes so much time. Therefore, it is better to focus on one thing and finish. And once we do this handwriting, our job will be done. Bigger, one big challenge will be met with. And the other part is very easy. The other things they learn very fast because it is so interesting. Sounds and pronunciation, and that is very easy. Yeah, thank you. If we have finished this, and what happens when we continuously write this? When we continuously write this, practice it like that, every day the teacher has to write, even after the students become perfect. Even after the students have come to some expectations, you have to keep on writing. Every day you have to write 10 minutes. Copywriting 10 minutes is a must. Then you can, after they learn also, even after they have learned, every day 10 minutes and then only begin the lesson. You have to write 10 minutes of copywriting in 6th and 7th. First 10 minutes, you must tell them to copy from the board. And this is where, when we see children, when they see the board, that is how they learn to write. Seeing the teacher, how he writes, seeing the board, they write. And they point out the mistakes also. It can be done. I used to do even till 9th and 10th. First 5 minutes, copy. Don't leave that practice, however busy you are, however whatever the portions may be. This practice is very, very useful. Because when they see the teacher and write, no, that gives a lot of confidence. And their knowledge of punctuation, everything becomes so perfect. Practice of teacher writing on the board is most important. What generally happens is we all try to teach so much, but we don't write. Blackboard writing, board writing is very less for teachers. I have seen. Over the years, it has decreased. It has it has reduced by leaps, by and large. Because in the earlier days when we were students, or when, say, for example, Lata sister or Vrinda sister or Asha sister were students probably, our teachers, they used to write more. We used to copy from the board, more of it. We used to copy all the notes, everything. That's how we learned better handwriting. Today, what happens, today's generation, teachers avoid board writing. And their handwriting is so bad. I mean, they just try to say, this is not important kind of thing. But nevertheless, are we not preparing the children for exams? We are not doing this. Suppose there were no exams, written exams. Suppose everything was kind of, email or mail kind of thing, or do e-exams or something like that, or in computer itself. Then probably we don't have to stress on writing. We can do away with. Until then, at least, I think writing cannot be done with. Therefore, handwriting is something, a very serious issue. I really don't know. It all depends on your perseverance and holding on to. And it is such a good skill. See, tomorrow when you want to write a letter, tomorrow when you want to, some situation comes suddenly when you have to write something, an application letter or something to somebody, there it will fail us. Our hand will not move at all. If you are totally detached with writing, what happens? Some sudden situation, you will not be able to face it at all. It becomes so difficult. I have seen big people holding big positions, just scribbling. They are not able to write with the pen. Just scribble. Big people. They are unable to cope up with it. It's such a sad thing, sad state of affairs. All because we have not learned handwriting at a younger age. And practice is lost. But actually, if you have learned it, you can pick it up faster when you are to write it. The problem comes when we don't have that in our blood. It is not there in our nature. That comes the problem. If you have learned it once thoroughly, then left it for years, I told you like swimming or cycling, you can recollect it faster. It comes to you faster. With just 1 or 2 days, you can get back the hold. First 2-3 days may be a little difficult. Afterwards, you will get back the flow. But if you don't learn it at all, then it is very difficult later stages. So handwriting is a serious problem we have to all deal with by having patience. And first of all, we learning it with patience. Better late than never. No problem. We can learn it. We have to start, at least to some extent. See, it cannot be that we may write very, very neatly. All of us have to improve. Therefore, don't take that, it should be, I wrote very ideal. At least to some extent, we should be able to write neatly and cursive writing on the board so that we can tell the children that you should also learn. And one more good thing that we can do is, if we are not able to present something very ideal, say for example, our handwriting is not ideal, or our phonetics, or our spoken languages, we have some regional accent or something like that. We have to bring in others and show them as role models. We have to put on audio visuals. What we are now delving upon is, with minimum resources, how can we inspire the children? Suppose I have a regional accent problem. I have a problem. I have that in me. I have to, but nevertheless, I can put so many of good speeches, good audio visuals to the children and inspire them indirectly. Then they'll understand that teacher is showing all this at least as a model. See, just because I am not up to the mark, I should not say, I'll not show this at all. So we should have faith in giving exposures. We must bring in audio visuals. We will bring in some speakers. You can bring somebody. And along with this, the listening task is not only audio visual, storytelling is another very, very important part of a teacher. Storytelling, the art of storytelling, the skill of telling stories, narrating stories. I'll tell you, I'll narrate one of my, many stories I narrate. So I'll just narrate how to narrate a story in the classroom. So before that, 5 words of phonetics. Now you would have finished this, I hope. 5 words of phonetics I'll give you. Now I think you have got a feel of this dictionary. Now you can use actually after this for workshop, you can start using the mobile, and you can, any word you type, the same thing will come there. But maybe sometimes even if mistakes are there, you will be able to identify, and there is some difference, you'll be able to identify it. Therefore, you'll not get lost. So why we wanted to introduce or expose this dictionary at first was that, the standard thing, you should first know it without compromise. This is a standard dictionary where, this is the standard, because internets, there are so many distortions. We don't know. So many, there may be many changes sometimes. Sometimes stress may not be there. Sometimes some other, they would have changed kind of, they will adopt their own way of, to make it easy. I have seen that with my own eyes. That's why I was just concerned about it. So now I'll just give 5 words. Let's write. And every day, even after they learn very well, even in 8th class, even in 9th class, though they know how to use this, we have to every day spend 5 minutes time in the class doing some kind of revision, or at least once in a week or something. We have to revise this phonetics, what we have taught them. This copywriting, what they have learned, and this phonetics, what they have learned, we have to keep revising in the classrooms. Even though they have learned well, we should not leave it, because that practice will go otherwise. So to bring it back to memory, 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, or first 5 minutes, or once in a week, one day, one class full, you can revise this. One period a week, you can just revise this. And copywriting every day, but copywriting, no, not once in a week or something, every day 10 minutes. But only difference, there is one difference when they have already learned. Can you tell me what is that? There is one advantage, when they have already learned it. We can ask them to write in the evening and tomorrow submit it, and you're going to correct it and give marks every day. So you can save your time. They need not write in your class only. And you can tell or convince in the meeting with all teachers that this will help all subjects. Therefore, please allow them to write in the study periods in whichever class it is. Don't stop them to write copywriting, because it helps all subjects. It helps them to write science, social, everything neatly, beautifully. So English copywriting, nobody should stop them thinking that it is only English subject, because English is for all subjects. This point we forget again. We think that it is English teacher, it is English only that subject, therefore other subject, other subject teachers, they may take it as a competition with you. I don't think it is fair. You have to convince them in the meeting that this is for all subjects, and your subjects also will suffer. Once they learn it, and you should say, see, suppose other teachers, they don't write beautifully on science teachers or social teachers, or they may not write very well. But once they learn from you, you can insist that whoever writes anything, you should write in the way we have taught you. Even science, even social, in all exams, in all tests, you have to write the way you have learned. Then what happens? See, they will never go wrong. Otherwise, one period they will write one style, and your period, it's not like that. Handwriting is handwriting meant for all subjects. So therefore, it's very important that in the beginning, they should not write notes of any chapter in the 6th class until they learn this cursive handwriting for first 4 months. You have to see that my special concern about this, and say that this will have a very deleterious and very, very debilitating effect on, children's handwriting. They'll have to undo and they'll have to redo it. And your job will become waste. It will be a total waste for you to keep how much ever effort you put. If they start writing in other subjects badly, it's all, coming rounding about the bush, and very difficult. So you please express this and see that in 6th class, I showed you that Swami had sent that research which had been carried out a few months back by all teachers across the country. Swami had put it in the group. And where it said that in 6th class, only English and mathematics basics should be taught. Basics of English and basics of maths. Which means English basics means what? Handwriting and phonetics. That's how you take more time for these things. And informal reading and audio visuals. Just for 10, 15 minutes every day. Along with this if you want. So in fact, I stopped that also. In fact, I stopped it and I told until you learn it, I'll not put audio visual. So it became a kind of challenge for them. So they learned it fast, in fact. But depends on how you inspire them. See, for example, if you stop the audio visuals and all that, depends, if the students are inspired by you, they'll bear all that for your sake. That is one very important thing. You'll have to inspire them by your, your love, by your involvement, by your caring, and by your way of teaching them. You have to inspire them that they should feel inspired by you to do anything. They must be ready to do anything for your sake. Then you can get it done through them. Otherwise, it will be a failure. They'll not listen to you, they'll get restless, and all these problems will keep cropping up. So handwriting, please think about it, how best you can do it. Use all your strategies. Sky is the limit for creativity. In addition to all these basic things and mandatory things which we have to do, you can always use any number of activities that you devise, that you get from some source. We are never against it. You can always devise any number of activities. That is all in addition to all this, without compromising on handwriting and phonetics, and without compromising on warming up, what we say, informal reading. You can always keep doing for entertainment. I showed, so many activities you can do for sixth also for entertainment without assessments. Fine. Now, 5 words. First one. Now, this is a different kind of test I'll give you. I'll pronounce. You have to just write the symbols with stress now. You have to write that. All this time you were pronouncing it, seeing the dictionary. Now you write the symbols with stress. Okay, now I'll pronounce. Take this word, efficient. 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 Where am I stressing? Efficient. It is not efficient. It is efficient. What is the actual pronunciation? It is efficient. I'm just giving you practice not to change your pronunciations. Just for practice for finding out transcriptions, this phonetic transcriptions, so that it becomes easy for you to use dictionaries. We don't have to worry that we have to change our accent and change our pronunciations from tomorrow. You should start using this pronunciation, nothing of that sort. Just to use the dictionaries, you should know how to do it. Efficient. So you write the exact phonetic transcription. Now this is one kind of dictation that we have to give. 2 types. One is the other way, and this is the next. I give 2 types of dictations to our children. One, you write it on the board with phonetic transcription, they have to read it out. The other one is you pronounce it, they have to write this. This kind of dictations must keep on inspiring them. Next one, efficient. So where am I stressing? See, efficient. Efficient. Shunt. I'm not even saying shunt. I'm saying shunt. Efficient. And where am I stressing? Efficient. Efficient. Next one. Next one. Anyone write, Krishna sir, can you write the word efficient? That English spellings also. Just write the word so that I will remember it. No, in your notebook only. Just make a note of the word. Next one. Next one. Hematology. Hematology. See, I am pronouncing it clearly. Hematology. 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 Right? Also write its syllables, number of syllables. Just put a dash against it and write 4, 5, whatever. Hematology. Hematology. Next one. Next one. Inconceivable. 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 Perceive, deceive, conceive, we say no? Conceive, perceive, deceive. Same type of words. Inconceivable. Next word. Next word. Next word. Maturity. Maturity. Mature. Mutilate. 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 Programmatic. 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 Last one. Programmatic. Programmatic. It's Indian accent. Programmatic. Representative. 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 How many over? 7 are over. Okay, now tell me the first word. What was the first word? Give 1 mark if it is correct. I'll write on the board. First one. Efficient. Efficient. See whether it's correct. What I am writing. So, shunt. Efficient. Upper stress is here before fee. Efficient. See how I am pronouncing? Efficient. It is actually this. It is not efficient. Again. We say for again, again. It is just again. It is not again and again. We all say no, again, we say. Like, you know, our Indian, we have thought, because we want to be very sincere with the words, with the letters, spelling letters, alphabets. So, we want to do justice to that. Whatever is the spelling, that way only we want to pronounce. For example, G-E-S-T, of course it differs. Some people say gesture. It is actually gesture. It is not gesture. It is gesture. If you see the dictionary, you will see it is gesture. It is not gesture. Okay, next one. Next word. Huh? Hematology. Hema, H-E. And it is hema, that means lower stress. Hematology. So there is an upper stress for ta and a. And then L, G. Hematology. Hematology. Just imagine if we learn this pronunciation for every word, if we start doing stressings, how musical the language will be. When we read out a paragraph, if you can read out like that, how beautiful the language would be to hear. It will sound musical with perfect pronunciations. Hematology. Next one. Inconceivable. Inconceivable. Either you can put a or not. I am writing it in brackets. It means even if you miss that, bull. Bull is also okay. Bull is also okay. Inconceivable. Inconceivable. If you have written this, 1 mark. And as I told you, small mistakes, don't worry. If the pronunciation itself changes, then you cut. Small things, if you forget, if the pronunciation does not change, don't worry. If pronunciation does not change, don't worry. I mean, small things like, oh, you have forgotten, inconceivable. Such things, it's okay. Or stress, probably suppose by chance, you know it, but stress you have forgotten to put. So, you know it, but stress is also an important thing. Okay, next word. Maturity. Mature. Here you should put the upper stress. Rati. Rati. Maturity. Maturity. So it's not maturity. Maturity we say. Maturity. So exact pronunciation is this. Maturity. Serious. It's serious. We say serious. Serious. Seriously. Seriously. Okay, next one. Mutilate. At beginning itself the stress is there. Beginning itself the stress. Ya. Mutilate. E-I. A and T. Mutilate. Mutilate. Huh? Ma and ya becomes mya. Ma, ya, u becomes mu. Mutilate. Yeah, this the symbol for ya pronunciation is J. J is the symbol for ya. When we learnt consonants that other day. So only few changes in all other stands for the same. Ha is H, sa is S. Only tha, the, ya, then this one ng, and then cha, ja, sha. Sha, cha, ja, and ja. Ja. Only these are the change. You have to learn different symbols for sounds. Different symbols for sounds. All other things are the same. It's the same letter stands for the same symbol, sound. It's easy to remember. Mutilate. Next one. Programmatic. See? Pa, ra, u. And there is, I have said, that means lower stress is there. Programmatic. Tick. Programmatic. Correct? Perfect. Next one. Representative. Lower stress is there. It becomes very easy. Once you learn it, it becomes very easy. Like drinking water. Representative. Z. See, I am pronouncing it as Z, not sa. Representative. Z-E-N. Tertive. Representative. Tertive. It's not tetive. Representative. Tertive. Representative. Next one. That's all. So, I'll ask you a question. If you have given marks, I'll give another 1 minute. If you have given marks to yourself, how many got full marks? Anybody got full marks? Oh, fantastic. Give a big hand. Madam is from Kondapaka campus. She has got full marks. Anybody got, so this, how many words this were? 7 were. So 7 out of 7. How many got 6 out of 7? Anybody 6? When fantastic. 2 are there, sisters. Anybody here? Oh, Krishna sir. Okay. 6 out of 7. Doesn't matter. See, as I told you, when it is mistake, let's understand the mistake. Oh, this is where I forgot. Okay. That's all. Understanding the mistake does the job. So don't have to worry about mistake too much. Don't take it serious. Neither take success also too much to the head. So that's very important. Be cool. Don't get depressed. Don't feel unhappy. Don't feel elated also. Just know that, yeah, this is this. Don't take it too much anything, personally or seriously. And 5 out of 7. 5 out of 7. 5, yeah, 5, 3/4. Very good. I always give 3/4 marks, 1/4 mark in my. Always I have done that. Very good. She is very strict evaluator. Who is that? Sister? Which campus? Your name? Sanjana sister. So she has got 5, 3/4. Okay. Anybody 4 out of 7? Oh, fantastic. Brother Kushal. Manu. Correct. Brother Manu has got 4 out of 7. And yeah, you also got 4 out of 7. And then 3 out of 7. Very good. Oh, no problem. Yes, 3 sisters. 3 sisters have got 3 out of 7. And then 2 out of 7. No problem. Very good. Okay, 2 words correctly you have written. Perfectly you have written. So that's what we have to see. 2 words you have written correctly, perfectly. 1 out of 7. Even 1 word, no problem. Very good, fantastic. Even 1 word. That means you have written it correctly. That means it is there in you. So it will come in time. 1 word. Anybody Shunya? 0 out of 7. No problem. You should feel. See, I always tell my children, our children, see, especially the boys, generally they'll have this marks phobia. So they'll try to, instead of getting 0, they'll be afraid. They'll somehow copy. I always tell them, 0, it is my 0. You can be proud of it. It is my 0, but don't copy, I say. Somebody's marks, don't copy. It is like eating somebody's yanjiluta, food. Then, they feel, somewhat repulsive for copying. Whenever they copy, Krishna sir has told, yanjiluta, oh, we should not. So they'll feel guilty about, they'll not copy then. You should tell them, what is the big thing in copying and taking marks and calling somebody's marks as my marks? 0 means you can be proud of, no problem. So anything your own you can be proud of. If I have got 1 or 2 words also, that means I have written. That means somewhere I have erred. 2 words I have written correctly. See, you should note that. You should be proud of yourself. Okay. All right. So this much we have finished with this one. Now the turn. Yes. Correct. So we'll give a break of kindly. Today is the last day. My very sincere request, if you can come exactly within 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Sairam. We will start. 10:20 we start. Sometimes what happens, the teacher would have brought up the children to a very good level. Therefore, you can start from 7th also. We have to bring them to a very high standard. So you need not compromise with the quality. Even right from 7th, you can give a very high aim. So, but anyway, this is for something like 9th and 10th and 11th, 12th, or even for 8th, you can imagine. So these are worksheets. So first what I do, suppose you are all children. Now you are sitting. I'll distribute these worksheets. You have to go through the questions. You have to go through the questions of the worksheets. You have to just go through all the questions carefully. I'll give you 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Go through the questions, and then I will start reading out or either you can play, if you have a CD, you can do a recording of it and keep it and play it through this one audio, or you can read out. So listening test means when you are reading, keenly listening, and then because you have gone through the questions, as you are listening also you can start writing answers. I hope you get my point. So you will be given worksheets. You have to go through the questions first and get familiar with the questions. And then as I start reading the passages, the relevant things, as you're listening, you can keep writing. And I'll do it 2 times. I'll read out 2 times. So first time itself, you can do it simultaneously, you can answer them. And those questions which you have not been able to attempt, you can try it once again when I read it out again. So now I'll distribute the worksheets. So your time starts. You can just start reading the worksheets. What are the different type of questions which we have given? 4 tasks are there. You will see that you will have 4 tasks for listening activity. Listening activity, you will have 4 tasks. 4 different type of questions. Task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. Just start reading. Task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4 questions. Start reading the questions and you'll understand what type of questions you are being asked. Get familiar with the questions. I'll give 5 minutes. Then I'll start reading out the passages. Be familiar with the questions. And then when I read out the passages, even as I'm reading out, you can answer the questions. You can answer the worksheets. Even as I'm reading out. It's not that you have to listen to it completely and then recollect from memory. Even as I'm reading out, you have to answer the questions. Anybody wants one? Sister has one extra. This side, anybody wants this side? Anybody? All have got, I think. One, I can take it. I'll take it. So you'll see, actually these things, they have even CDs. I could not bring the CDs because I misplaced it, and these were the things which we did long back in our classes. So I misplaced the CDs, I've given it off. So I had some of the handouts and I got it Xeroxed again. You will hear this, some tips from your teacher on how to open a bank account. So just read the questions, yourself. The kind of activities you will have to devise it for your children. It will be so nice. Scientific way of conducting assessments of listening activities. So generally we don't know how to conduct the listening activities. We must prepare the worksheets. We must have that matter to read it out or to play a CD. And then they should write the fill up the blanks. So you give one mark for each fill up the blanks. So 5 marks. Then you bring it down to 5 marks. So LSRW, every month we have to conduct 20 marks. LSRW, 5 marks each. You can add grammar and you can make it 25, no problem. Then we can give grade. So every month we have to have this test at the end of the month. After giving them thorough practice for a month, for 1 month, after giving them thorough practice, every month we must have assessment for LSRWG, adding G grammar. 5 marks for each of the activity. Listening 5 marks, reading 5 marks, speaking 5 marks, and then handwriting 5 marks for 6th class, other classes creative writing with handwriting. So what are the kinds of assessments that we have to give? So listening, what are the kinds of listening activities that we can perform? These are the kinds. After giving them thorough entertainment of listening activity like this. Yesterday we saw Kumbhakarna and this thing. After giving them all these exposures, then we have to conduct these because their vocabulary would have improved. And this also we have to give them a mock test. Without actual test. You have to tell them this kind of test also I'll give. Give them a mock test. Just expose them. Tell them this kind of test I'll give. One mock test. And then say tomorrow. Don't tell the date. I told you unannounced tests must be given. Unannounced. Anytime they should be ready. Today I'm going to conduct you a test. Come on. Today I'm going to conduct a test. Every day it is celebration. Every day they should be ready for test. Let me see how many are prepared. Today I'm going to conduct one listening test. Today I'm going to conduct one handwriting test. Sudden tests. Assessment should be done, but it should not be known to children. Then only they will do correctly. Otherwise they'll prepare. They'll have something. They'll come to know. See, just as, does an enemy inform and attack? Does an enemy say, tomorrow at this time I'll attack your country? No chance. Then we'll get alert. The thief in the students gets alerted. If you tell this time we conduct a test, this is the blueprint, this is the portion we are going to have for test. Then what they'll do? All nefarious plans, underworld dawn business, they'll write chits and do that, and they'll ask their friends. We should be more intelligent than students. We should not tell them date only. We should not tell them any portions. Whatever I am teaching, any time I can conduct test. What do you mean by portions? Whatever I am doing, you should be thoroughly prepared. Every day keep revising. Swami says, no, that day's portions, that day it should be revised. Have you heard from this from Swami? Suppose I teach something today. By evening, they should be thorough with that. It should be like that. No postponement. Procrastination, it is called. One of the biggest problems of students and even adults. Procrastination. Postponement, it is called. Postponing and waiting for the exam date. And then, conducting all this, conducing all these nefarious plans. We have seen so many apology letters. Then, we're talking to them about the harmful effects of copying. All this will happen if you give dates. We, in the first place, we commit the blunders of making them alert. Tomorrow there will be exam. Blueprint will be given. This kind of questions will come. We ourselves reveal 50% of the question paper. 50% of the question paper, we only reveal them. This type of question, 2 into 2 marks, 5 questions will come. Oh, they will say, okay, by hearted, come on, keep all the chits ready. What is the necessity of giving any kind of blueprint at all? Don't give any print. Oh, sorry, question paper print you give. That's all. Don't give blueprint, only print of the question paper. So now see, for example, I took you by surprise. Now we are going to conduct this. Just try like that. If every day he is speaking in English, if every day he is listening to teachers and listening to audiovisuals, he will definitely do well. That will be his real assessment. Sudden test. CIDs will come suddenly raiding the house. They'll not say, tomorrow I'll raid your house. Then what will happen? All these income tax people, they'll be ready with perfect, there'll be sadhus in their house. No one note extra will be there. Sudden raids. You know how they caught this Shah Rukh Khan's son? There was a big, this one, no? He was in some party, it seems. And these people, what is that organization? A narcotics bureau, they were observing them from long time. Okay, and how they were in their own dress, civilian dress. They were mixing with them. They were also acting as if they are taking drugs. They are going in that party. And then one fine day when this party was announced, they all joined together. They also take tickets, 50,000 one ticket, 1 lakh and all. They purchase the tickets. And they are acting as if they are dancing and they are all drug, addicted. Then suddenly when they see, all of them are police actually. Okay, when everybody is close-ended, no entry, they sealed all the position. Then they, whistle and they say, hands up. And they handcuff them immediately. They have no chance to escape. They say, and they show guns they will have inside very secretly. So if you alert the thief in the students, they'll do all things. They'll discuss with the children, what man, you tell me, all that they will discuss. Tests should be given unannounced. Then only you can catch them. Then only you can see how much they have learnt. If I tell you tomorrow test will be there, you will by heart and do something and artificially you will score marks. That is not real assessment at all. I want to see really how much you have learnt. I will take you by surprise. Then they'll be every day ready, ever ready, every day. So Swami wants this kind of assessment. I'll tell you more about it now. Now, you have gone through these questions, I believe. Now, I'll give you the real reading part. As I'm reading, you can, this actually we should not give, but I've just given you for your sake, so you can read out that to your children, just to get a feel of it. This I should not give to children actually, but I'm giving to you because you'll come to know how we should do it. First, you should give the worksheet. Then you have to read out this, as a teacher, you have to read out this. So I'm giving you this this handout. Now you will have this with you. Teacher will have this with you. Just go through. You have given the worksheets and you have this with you, or you can have the recording if you have some kind of recording. Now, I'll read out. You don't start answering, please. I've just given you for just giving you an idea. Don't start answering now. I'm not testing you the way. It is just to give you a demonstration of how you should do. That's all. Don't worry about marks or anything. Now, I will read out. You have to listen and answer. This you can keep it in the kit now. This you can keep it in the kit. You can read later. Same thing I'm going to read out now. Same thing I'm going to read out. Now, task 1. Listening activity. Task 1. This is a listening activity for assessment. Listening assessment task. Now, you have the worksheet task 1. Keep it ready with you. And as I am reading, as you are now familiar with the questions, you don't have to complete, you don't want me to complete fully and then you should start. Nothing of that sort. You have to, even as I am reading, you can start answering the questions. Transcript. Now, help someone open a bank account. Now, these are the points. Help someone open a bank account. Tell them opening account easy. What is the first question? You will hear, then listen to the tips and complete the notes with 1 or 2 words only. You will hear the recording twice. So, I'll read out 2 times. And then you have to fill up the blanks. I'm going to read out this. Help someone open a bank account is the title. What are the different points under that? Tell them opening account is easy. Keep answering now as you listen. Tell them opening account is easy. Scheme of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Special camps to mark launching of the scheme. Help with documents required. No minimum balance required. Withdrawal of money from any ATM. Overdraft facility after 6 months. Security of money along with interest. Beneficiary of all government-run schemes. Contact nearest bank branch. Contact nearest bank branch. Second time I'm going to read. First time you would have written many answers. Suppose you would have forgotten something, you might not have recollected. I'm going to read once again. Teacher will read 2 times. Help someone open a bank account. What are the things necessary to open a bank account? Tell them opening account is easy. Scheme of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Special camps to mark launching of the scheme. Help with documents required. No minimum balance required. Withdrawal of money from any ATM. Overdraft facility after 6 months. Security of money along with interest. Beneficiary of all government-run schemes. Contact nearest bank branch. 2 times I have read. You should not read more times. 2 times only. First time you should tell them, even as the teacher is reading, write it down. If you have forgotten, I'll read once again. That's all. 2 times you have to read. Then tell, go to the next task. And you have to make the children sit far. Take them to a big hall. This may not work out in classroom if the number of children are more. If the number of children are less, okay. If they can be made to sit at a far distance, 15 children, 20 children, okay, you can make them sit at far distance, okay. Otherwise, take them to a hall and make them sit, wide, a big hall, dining hall or prayer hall. There you can give gaps and make them sit. I used to do like this kind of test. Same thing. I used to take them to a hall and then make them sit at very far distances. Okay. Task 2. I'm going to read now. What is the question? Task 2. You will hear a conversation between a student and a doctor. You will hear a conversation between a student and a doctor about the safety measures to be taken for Ebola virus. Read the statements given, then listen to the conversation and choose which 5 of the given options A to H are correct. Choose which of the 5 are correct. So you have to write true at the end of the sentence. You have to write true, T. Whichever is correct, you have to write true. Whichever is false, you can either strike the sentence or write F. You will hear the recording twice. So now I read out. Conversation between student and doctor. Carefully you should listen. This requires a lot of concentration. See, that's how you are going to make them more mature, more attentive. If you give this kind of tasks, otherwise only writing, only question answers, they are becoming too unruly, too screaming, screeching kind of people. So when we test their listening only, they understand that we have to concentrate, we should keep silent. In that context, you should tell Shabda Bhedi, what was the secret. By listening, they were able to strike the target. Now, student. I read in the papers about the deadly Ebola virus and the fatalities that it has wreaked. Is this disease likely to become a killer disease on the same scale as malaria? Or perhaps the outbreak of SARS? What are the findings about the deadly Ebola virus? You can write answers even as you listen, wherever possible. Doctor. Scientists and physicians have been working very hard to find a cure for this virus. And the first steps towards some solution have begun to take shape. Scientists have found that Ebola virus blocks and disables the body's natural immune response. This makes the individual's ability to fight the virus become reduced. But this very factor has led to a sunny alternative. What could that be? Have scientists reached some sort of miracle cure, sir? Though a cure is not yet in sight, The discovery that it blocks the immune system may guide researchers towards the development of a potential cure. Well, sir, something is better than nothing. When was the virus first discovered and how? The virus was located during the outbreak of Ebola in West Africa, in the worst known attack about 4 decades ago, when more than 1,000 people lost their lives. Since early this year, nearly 2,000 people have been affected by it, according to the World Health Organization. Sir, who were the people who found out about the Ebola virus disabling natural immunity? The discovery about the Ebola virus disabling human immunity was made at the Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, along with colleagues from Washington University School of Medicine and collaborators of the Lens School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. Through their findings, we know how the Ebola protein VP2424 disrupts the cell's innate immune system response. It also obstructs an important immune compound called interferon. And this knowledge can guide our development of new treatments. How does the interferon work, sir? We know that the Ebola protein VP24 works for preventing the transcription factor SWATI, which carries the interferon antiviral message from entering the nucleus. The cell allows the SWATI another access to the nucleus. The VP24 attached to SWATI cannot get to the nucleus and therefore cannot disrupt the body's immune system in response to the infection. The discovery about how the immune response gets disrupted through this process may push the drug hunt for battling Ebola at a step nearer to its final success. That's it. Now, see, this should not be given to children. This is for you to read it out. And you must have only one printout for yourself, or you can have a recording. This is just, I have given you, just to give an idea. This is not to be given. This is a listening task. If you give it, it becomes a reading task. They'll have to read and answer the questions. It becomes a reading task. Listening task is, they have to listen from you. Then they have to answer. And is it necessary for me to read again? Let us cut short the time. I think you would have written the answers. In the end, you can tell me your marks if you want. Because let us cut short the time. Because if I start reading again, it will take too much time. Task 3. Come to task 3 now. You have questions already with you, worksheets. You have to go through. What is the task 3? It states, you will hear 5 short extracts of people talking about the poor sanitation condition in an Indian village. Read the statements given, then listen to the extracts and match the statement AG to speaker 1 to 5. That means A to G, whatever sentences are there. And when I read the paragraphs of different people, you have to match this sentence with whom? Who is the speaker? I'll be telling about the character also. Who is that person? You have to match it with that. So if it is A, against the A in your worksheet, first paragraph, when I'm reading out, you come to know that, oh, this is not related to this. Don't put anything. And wherever, you find relation, oh, the second, A2, you should write there at the end of the sentence. So like that you have to. So A2, there are 2 statements that you do not need. Extra 2 statements they have given to confuse you. Purposefully, they have given to confuse you. And you will hear the recording twice. So actually, you should read it 2 times. Here, I'm doing it only once. You have to read it 2 times to children, because children are children. You will have to read it 2 times, neatly, properly. Not more than 2 times. Speaker 1. Carefully, go through. Speaker 1. The village of Daurala, located on the border between Delhi and Haryana, has woken up to its backward condition. They are now determined to change the life they have been leading under insanitary conditions. The women still have to go together so that one person can keep a watch while they relieve themselves enough for the tanker carrying drinking water supplies to the village to ply on it. Hence, the villagers keep their containers at the entrance of the village and fill it when the regular tanker supply arrives. Speaker 3. So here, is there 5 speakers mentioned? No? 5 are mentioned. By mistake here, I think there are only 4 speakers given. 2 is missing. Doesn't matter, it's printing this one. I'm just giving you an idea of how it should be conducted. So just don't worry. Whichever matches, you write it down. But this kind of mistake should not happen in real tests. You have to carefully see it because you're going to give marks. Already worksheets are ready. So you have to check it properly. I did it in a hurry because we didn't have any time. We had to prepare certificates and all these things in one day time. And the night, everything. Only we had night and afternoon time in which we had to finish all these handouts we had to get. So I missed it out. Somehow my eyes missed this point that they're required. That's it. No, no, but for the children it is required. Careful. You should be very careful while preparing any assessment. You must not cut a sorry figure like this. Here it is understandable, but there you are giving children a test, you will cut a sorry figure, and the whole thing may become waste. You may have to redo the whole thing again. So much of energy will be lost. So speaker 1 is over. Now speaker 3. The groundwater in the village is brackish. Moreover, it is also dirty. Hence, it can only be used for cleaning, washing, and bathing. According to some of the residents, even the tanker supply is not very clean, but having no other choice, the villagers continue to drink it. Also, fetching water from the main road is a difficult task. Sometimes an entire family is engaged in fetching and carrying the water back home. It takes up 3 to 4 hours of their day. So immediately you should be relating, oh, this relates to this one of the sentences here. No, here I'm reading 3. 2 is not mentioned here. One paragraph is missing. So just, I mean, here I'm just telling you. There it will be there. The question paper, you must have all the 5 speakers. You should select such kind of worksheets. You have to make such kind of worksheets yourself. You have to devise it, or you have to take some CBSE boards. You'll have plenty of such things in CBSE. What we say, they had something called CCE. CBSE had of late till now CCE system, where they have given all such kind of worksheets. I don't know now whether it is available or not. They have removed that system now. Earlier it was a very good system actually. All these things they had given us. And we used to take worksheets and we used to do so many kind of activities. In fact, right from the beginning I have done all this. About 10 years we have done only this kind of things. Anyway, now speaker 4. You can change the modulate your voice also. One lady's voice you can put. Most of the villagers are engaged in farming and cattle rearing, but due to the quality of the groundwater, they don't use it for irrigation purposes. Instead, they prefer to use treated rainwater. During periods of scanty rainfall, farmers are forced to switch over to other occupations. Some who had farms in the nearby Rauta village have left their fields fallow as their land is underwater from the Najafra drain. Close to 300 acres of farmland is submerged and the wastewater enters the fields because the drain wall is broken and there's a massive silt deposit on the banks. This is one speaker. Then one like an old man you can read. 5th speaker, because all will not have the same voice. Different speakers, So, deprived of even the basics of living, the villagers have no time to think of schools and hospitals. A few buses ply between Taurala and the neighboring areas, but the service is erratic. The local schools do not have enough teachers, and villagers who can afford it send their children to private schools 15 kilometers away. Students who need to avail of private tuitions use private vehicles. The village primary school is in dilapidated condition. So new building has come up in the area and the nearest dispensary is 6 kilometers away. No? So 2 times you have to read the whole thing. And if you say, sir, this was not clear, naturally the student should learn to listen to aged people also. You have to give them that feel. One is aged person, this is how they talk. One is, so through that listening, they also learn modulation of voice. You can't tell in the same way for all. See, this is one thing I found shyness and kind of, they don't come forward doing this, because unless the teacher does that and encourages that, children will not modulate their voice. They get shy. And you must keep encouraging them. Very good performance, very nice, give chocolates. Okay, so this, I'll stop at this. I'll not read second time. Let's save time. Task 4. I start. What is the question? Task 4. You will hear speech about connection between music and mathematics. Read the questions given and then listen to the extract. Choose option A, B, or C for your answer. You will hear the recording twice. You got this, no? How we have to conduct? All of you got this, sisters and brothers? Yeah. Now I'll just quickly read out. There's an organic connection between music and mathematics, contrary to the perception that one is a cold rational subject and the other a soft emotional one. Just as music is more than a mere collection of notes, mathematics is more than an assembly of numbers. Both are about structure pattern, abstractions, and about connecting with nature. Both connect with the rhythmic movement of tides of our breath, or that there being exactly the same number of petals in a daisy which corresponds to the Fibonacci numbers of mathematics. This is why the Princeton-based mathematician says he keeps a photograph of a field of daisies in his office. Bhargava is also a concert level. He's also a concert level tabla player trained by Zakir Hussain. He also talks about the connections between maths, music, and poetry, which, if taught well, can produce an entirely different generation of creative thinkers. Both music and mathematics are able to fathom the abstraction behind these subjects and its organization. That is why children who are trained in music will be able to organize thoughts which much more coherently and logically. The physicist C.V. Raman did arduous research on music. His wife was a veena player, and so he worked with her to study string instruments. He proved the role of the black patch at the center of the percussion instrument, like the mridangam and tabla, and its rodent partner, the dhagga. He proved that because the patch is made from animal hide, it gives power to overtones which are not exact multiples of each other. So, the vibrations have to be controlled through the right amount of weight and load when played. This also explains why the black patch is off-center in the dhagga. Arithmetic is a strong element in Carnatic music. The tabla divides the space-time continuum into divisions through beats and pauses. Over the scaffolding, you have the melodic flow and the syllabic flow. When the three are integrated, a strong format emerges. The percussion is used to amplify the aesthetic structure of the music. But not all researchers find the connection between music and mathematics to be so inviolate. According to Ramesh Ganguly, the commonest setting for music creation is performance that must take into account listeners. In contrast, a mathematician's activity is usually solitary. But whatever be the view of these thinkers, the goal of learning is to bring maths and music, daisies and tablas somehow to filter into the classroom and our imagination. You have to read it 2 times, and mind you, till the end you have to keep reading, because there may be questions in the end of the paragraph. So you have to tell the children that you have to carefully listen till the very end. Don't get bored. The questions may come from any paragraph. So you have to read it very well, and you have to practice reading before you go there. It was a new thing for me. I just brought the handout and read, and I might have made some mistakes, but you have to practice reading it. In the front of the children, if you read wrongly, it will be wrong. You can't do this mistake. You can't take, you can't do such things. You have to practice reading, because this is a listening task. You have to read with proper intonation, pronunciation, perfection, everything correctly. Pause, stress. Perfect listening they should have. They must have a perfect listening task. Or put a CD. Sometimes I feel that CDs, many people, they don't do well. You can better read out. It will be a good practice for you also. Reading out is better. It will be good practice for you, and children also will love it. This completes the task. Now I'll give you quickly the answer key, which you would have prepared. This you should not give it to anybody. You have to value. I'll just read out the answer key, only one. I'm not going to give it. This I could have got it, but there was no time. This will be the answer key. So you have to prepare the answer key beforehand. Listening task, how to conduct activities. for the children. You have to prepare the answer key beforehand. And don't get it valued by children. These things, don't, because they'll have soft corners for their friends. Oh, my friend, give 1 mark extra. If you get it valued from them. Of course, sometimes we can take the help very, very, very trusted people, and you have to do double checking. It saves your time, but you have to do double checking. Don't trust anyone, however good. When you take the help of children for some valuation, let's say, for example, objective questions and all, when we take the written, anyway, we cannot. Written, we have to do. Objective questions, when we have prepared some answer key like this, multiple choice questions, and when we take the help of, by chance, we take, as far as possible, we doing is the best. We doing the valuation ourselves is the best. In case we are taking the help of the children, best children, what we say, trustworthy children, intelligent ones, trustworthy people, you can take the help of them to do the valuation, but later you have to go through it again 2 times and see that they have not done any, because even the best ones will have some kind of, soft corner for their friends. And if they are angry with somebody, I will show them here. This fellow even made me angry, now I'll cut marks. They may show, take vengeance. So don't take the help of the children as far as possible for valuation. You evaluate yourself now. Seeing the value, task 1, first question, second, open is the answer. Jan Dhan, minimum, after. That's all. Keep giving marks, 1 mark for each fill up the blanks. And tell me your marks. Yeah. Yes. So give 4 in the margin. How you have to value? You have to put marks in the worksheet, you have to put marks in the margin. And at the end, you must put a dash and write total marks of that page. You have to put a dash down. After whatever marks in that page, you have to total it and page total. This is a very important thing. Page total. Every page you have to do that. And then final total. And that final total you have to put it in the front page. Front page. Top. And tell me your marks quickly. We are going to the next activity. Yeah, some may be wrong or something may be fine. No problem. No problem. It is given there, no? You can see. 1 mark for each. No. I have just given you a demo. Huh? Yeah. Now you can give marks. Means, as I have not read one paragraph, you can give off marks. Just to not get confused. Because in the question paper, 1 paragraph was... so you can give off marks there and put the total. So you have put the marks, children. Sorry. Not children here. Teachers here, teachers. It's a board exam going on. Okay. All right. Now we'll have, just close this. Now we'll start another beautiful activity for spoken language. Now here, why we want to do this activity, I'll tell you. For example, now when we ask you to do role play here, actually what happens, you read out what is given. You read out what is given. I'm going to the next activity, all of you. You kind attention. This has just given you an idea. I'm sure you have understood it thoroughly. Don't worry about marks. It is just kind of awareness. So this is how you have to conduct it. Now you can keep it in your kit. Now just come to think of this. When we want to know the real assessment of children in speaking, how really good they are. What are we going to do here? How really good they are. Now, whatever say, suppose you say, prepare a speech. They may vomit a speech. They may just by heart and do it. Suppose you say, do a role play. They may read out very well, but that doesn't confirm that their English is really good. How do we know that they have really vocabulary? How really they converse with each other? So, are they conversing with each other? How do we do? This is the activity which tells you how to do it. We did this with so much, you just enjoyed this activity. I did it about 6 years, I did this activity, 6 full years. So it is so nice. And what is this? I'll explain to you. Carefully, this is a little bit, kind of, it will take some 20 minutes or something. So you have to understand. And I don't have 1 or 2 things. Again, because of lack of time, you have to forgive me. It's only to give an awareness, doesn't matter. See, first, there'll be three groups we'll make. Amongst you will be 3 in groups. Now we'll first make it out and then you sit like that and then I'll tell you, as you sit and then I'll keep telling you. 3 people in 1 bench, kind of thing you just sit. And others can occupy here.
Three you sit. And that too, I'll tell you how. Maybe I'll tell you how. See, like this. See, one should be like this. One will be a teacher, like this. See, one will be a teacher and two will be students. So make two students. You only decide. Two students, one will be a teacher. Okay. So make yourself one teacher and two students. Make yourself and face, the teacher should be facing two students. Sit like that. Kindly sit like that. All of you please sit like that. Two students, one teacher. Face each other. Teacher should face the two students. Please sit like that. Come here. You can come. Change your places. You can change your places. Yes, you can. And now my request is, many worksheets may be there on the table. You keep it on everything inside your kit so that nothing will be confusing, because I'll give one more handouts. Keep up all other things inside your kit so that there will be no confusion. Keep only your notebook ready. Keep only your notebook ready. Yeah, one teacher, and you choose who will be the teacher. One teacher only. Strictly one teacher and two students. Yeah, like that you have to sit. One teacher, two students. In that case, what you can do, one teacher, three students you can have. Something like that. Three students you can have. But one teacher, three students. Choose amongst yourselves. One teacher, three students. Okay. Now, okay. Here, no. Exactly. So one can come as a teacher. You are two. One can come as a teacher. Them. Yes, correct. This is correct. This is correct. This is correct. That is correct. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Anybody who's the teacher. You are teacher? Yeah. How would it? Yeah, correct. So this is correct. This is also correct. This is correct. Perfect. Perfect arrangement here. Okay. I think this is right. This is. You should sit like this. Who? Teacher who is assessing and who is trying to do this activity for children, he should be better than students. Okay. All right. So this is now. See what I'll tell you the instructions. I'll read out the instructions and pass on this also. Just go through this. I'll read the instructions. See what you have to do. The teacher first, casually he's going to actually. There are some handouts which I couldn't get Xerox of it. I wanted to give all the material pertaining to this, but I couldn't get time, dear sisters and brothers, forgive me. But just come to know of it, how to do it. So the teacher has to casually first introduce, hello, how are you? I am so and so. You have to tell your name. I am Anant Krishna. What is your name? And then you should say, my name is so and so. And I'm studying in this school and this class. You should tell like that. As students, you should tell. And then you will ask, what is your name? So, and then you will tell the same thing. Okay, good. Now we are going to do this activity. You should say, the teacher should say, now we are going to do this activity. What is that? I'll ask, see, I would have given you, this also I forgot actually. Now itself, you just choose some topic in your mind, something, trees, classroom, cleanliness, something you keep, okay? And actually what you should do is, one day before or 3 days before or 1 week before only, you have to give topics to the children. You are going to prepare for 2 minutes talk. 2 minutes you have to speak something on this. For those two children, for everyone in the class, you just give the topics. All right, you give the topics to the children. For example, you speak on animals, you speak on cleanliness, you speak on poverty, whatever, depending upon the standard of the children. You can start doing this from 8th also. Depending upon the standard, give them topics and tell them after 3 days I'll conduct this activity. Okay, you should I'll conduct one kind of activity. Don't tell them, don't reveal anything more. Just tell them I'm going to conduct one activity. Be prepared to give a short talk on 2 minutes for this topic. Then you should, when they are ready with this now, suppose you are ready with this. So the teacher will say, okay, she'll first casually, what we say, introduce herself and then them also. Then say, what is your name? You belong to, she'll say, yes, my name is so-and-so. I belong to this school. I'm studying in this class. Then say, casually, what you should do, you should just, in corporate sectors and all, they do this. They do the interviews and they want to get to know each other. So, okay, what are your habits? What are your good, habits or hobbies? Can you tell some of them? Then you will say, yeah, I had many good hobbies, but now I don't use anything. I have forgotten or something, whatever. I have the hobby of collecting some, pictures. So something should, okay, very good. What are your, what time you get up every day in the morning? What is your routine that you follow in your house? Something like that you have to ask. The teacher should ask. And she will tell something. So this is a casual acquaintance, casual warming up activity. It's a kind of warming up activity. All right. Then after this, what you have to do? After this, you have to tell. See, now I'll explain to you what you have to do. You are going to, your friend is going to ask you a question. Speak on the topic. The topic given. So you're going to speak for some time on the topic, and or 1 or 2 minutes, and then your friend is going to ask you, your classmate is going to ask you a question, 1 or 2 questions. She should ask. He or she must ask. So after finishing talking about it, the other person, the other student should ask 1 or 2 questions on this. So say, for example, you're talking on zoo or some animals. So how are the zoos maintained by the government authorities or the local government authorities? She will put a question. And she will say something. And which are the zoos that you have visited? She will ask. No, I have visited these many zoos in these many states. Which one did you feel the best and why? And she will give some reason. Some questions you should put. 1 or 2 questions. That's all. And you must be moderator. Teacher must be a moderator. Are you understanding? Yeah. And then after she finishes her topic, you should say, in the beginning only you should give this instruction. After she puts a question, you have to answer. The same thing will be repeated with your friend. You have to ask, after she finishes her topic, you have to ask some questions to her, and I'll put a question to her. She will put a question, and then even teacher will put 1 or 2 questions related to her topic. And then after that, you are going to sum up that. So teacher will tell something and conclusion in 1 sentence, over. So you get to know how they talk and how they converse. You have to keep noting down their pronunciation, their delivery, their fluency, and their style. All this you have to keep noting down. The teacher should keep noting down all this in his notebook, even when they are speaking. This is actual talking, conversation going on. And then there's one more task attached to it. What is that? You should say, now I'll give you, the next task is in this, I'll give you one cue card. You should be ready with a cue card. We couldn't prepare all that. Everything we couldn't prepare. You have to be ready with a card in which there is a problem. I'll read out the problem, but anyhow. For example, I'll read out a problem. The teacher should say, I'll read out a problem now. I'll give you a problem in a card. Better to give it a card, better to give a card to the children. What is that? See this. Say, for example, in which there is a problem mentioned in that card. Some of your classmates are underconfident in speaking in English and do not know how to get help. Also, they do not know how to, I'll give this to everybody. You can use this for asking, problem task they are called. So I have made this possible. Only this I could make. Your schools, also they do not know how to improve their spoken English. With your partner, discuss what could be done to help them. With your partner, discuss what could be done to help them. So now you have read out this task and you give them that card. They will again read that card. You tell them, you read that card, you give them instructions. You read that card, what is written on the card, and then you both should discuss for 2 minutes. You both have to discuss for just 2 minutes as to the solution of the problem. You have to come to a consensus opinion. Okay. And then once you come to a consensus opinion, then, I'll put a question. You have to answer. You have to tell them, to each one of them, you will put a question. Teacher will put a question. How do you solve this problem? What do you see this? How do you see here? Similarly, you put a question to her also. And you draw a conclusion. So how they come to a solution and what way they talk about it. See, that's what you have to note. This is called problem solving task. Okay, so this much. These 2 tasks for speaking, you have to note down the marks, and you have to make a separate sheet for marks. In fact, we used to make, I'll give that handout if I have brought it. I'll just see, I have brought it probably. You have to note down the marks for listening task 1, 2, 3, 4, speaking. This is called assessment of speaking and listening. Speaking also, 5 marks for this, 5 marks for this, problem task. Okay, so that, and then finally, after both of you give your solutions for this problem, you say, thank you. That's the end of the assessment. That's the end of the activity. Thank you very much. There it ends. So the whole thing should take not more than 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The whole thing. Okay, just 1 minute of questions. So you understood the process, no? Now I will give you that instructions once again to you. You can go through for 5 minutes. Please go through for 5 minutes. There's nothing wrong. Get confident and do it. The whole thing should get over in 15 minutes once you are ready. Now another 2 minutes, please go through quickly. Just have a idea about it. Get an idea about it. I have actually made these handouts. It will give you instructions as to how to carry it out. how to carry it out, this activity, how you can carry it out. Om Shri Sai Ram. Now, we will just wind up. This was just to give you an idea of how we should actually go about. Now, there are some things which one or two sisters have discussed with us as to how it could be done. So, we'll just tell you something about it. Let's wind up this one. And actually, the handouts which we have given, they have mentioned even the timings. 1-2 minutes for conclusion, 1-2 minutes for explanation, like this. You have to stick to that. Too much of description also you should not allow it to happen. So, see, one of the things as to how frequently it can be conducted and where it could be conducted. Sairam, we'll just conclude it because we have another just 2 hours in which we have to just give some audiovisual presentation of all the assessment pattern and all these things. And then the remaining part of the audiovisual which is left out, we could, if time permits, finish that. So probably we could, probably it was not finished completely, properly, satisfactorily. I apologize for it, but no matter. But we have to rush forth now. We don't have much time. So it has given you an idea as to how it should be done. And at what frequent intervals, where it could be done, how it could be done. This particular thing, say listening activity, for example, it can be done very frequently in the classroom itself. If the number of children are less, you can do it in classroom itself, or you can take them to a bigger hall, and if the number of children are more, you can make them sit at a greater distance and you can conduct this activity, listening one. Now this, finding out really whether how good they are in English. Now, how to do and when to do, where to do this. First of all, let me tell you one thing, that this is from not a point of view of the present situation. Please understand this, I have already mentioned. If you think of the present situation, you will get number of problems. Okay, teacher themselves may not have good English, this is first thing. And you may feel that, it is time consuming. Too many boys and girls will be there in the class. Suppose the class will have 50 children, or 2-3 sections are there. Each section you have to conduct and consolidate all these marks. It will take one full day. So this cannot be, this particular thing of finding out true English can be done only once or twice in a year. But the same thing as a mock rehearsal for children, making them as teacher student. One as teacher, the brighter ones, and 2 as students, can be done any number of times in the classroom itself. Mock rehearsals can be done many times. So what you have to do, see, you have to encourage them to do that way. You have to, see, we already came to know that combining weak students with sharper ones is a very good strategy. We have already understood this. So what will happen, there will be always at least 10-12 students, if not 50%, at least some 10-12 students, brighter students who are very intelligent, who speak well, who have better grasp of vocabulary and all that, sharper, brighter. Make them as teachers and 2 students as students. Make these mock rehearsals many times. And first of all, it is from the point of view of setting the system right. For example, you start with 6th class and you know that your children are capable. They have some standard now. And this cannot be done for lower classes because they are still in gathering stage, I told you. This is only for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. That also, you have to always tone it down to the standard of the children. See, there are certain things which goes without saying. Those things you have to yourself intuitively understand. See, if you think from problem point of view, you will be getting only problems. You will think, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. If you see the positive side of it, how else will you know the real English of the children? Now, suppose I want to know the real English of teachers. If I am an inspector coming to the school, if I want to know the real English of a teacher, probably I'll do this with the teachers. There's no other way left out. Now, same thing you have to start right from a young age, because when they grow up, when they go into outside society, how are they going to deal with situation? How are they going to talk in corporate sectors? How are they going to deal? They'll cut a sorry figure. They cannot survive anywhere in a competitive field at all. There are higher jobs, software engineers are there, and medical professionals, and in different IT sections. Today's world is very competitive world. You have to produce speakers. You can't simply cut a sorry figure standing there and you are not able to speak and stumbling, fumbling and mumbling or stammering. You can't produce that. And finally you say, you put the blame on somebody else. You say, I don't know, I have not laid the foundation. Some teachers, they think from negative point of view. The big problem is, if you think from negative, God, if you think God, you are. Dust, if you think dust, you are. As you think, so you become. If you say, somehow I'll find a solution, you'll find a solution. If you keep thinking of only problems, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. If you are only in your comfort zone, if you want to only keep on reading the chapters and giving exercises, I think you will remain there only. Nobody can help you in this world to lift you at all. You can keep arguing, you can keep telling the problems, thousands of problems. You can say, I can't do this, I can't do this. There are that kind of people. Whereas there are those people, even at a very ripe old age also, they'll be ready to learn, they'll be ready to do something, coming forth something. See, anything which is done, first we have to look at the positive side of it. Oh, I see. Yeah, the principle is correct. The main principle being correct, you will have to find the solutions for the various problems which comes forth. Obviously, problems will be there. Who told it will not be there? It is not easy. Handwriting, do you think it is easy? It is going to be very tough. Just because it may not be very easy for it, can I stop from telling the truth? Because the solution is that only. You have to learn to write, you have to learn to teach children. Now, 9th and 10th teachers, they will say, I don't want to take this handwriting responsibility. Suppose they say that. Who will think of the poor students? Are they not becoming scapegoats? Should we not solve their problems? If everyone says, I don't want to learn handwriting, if every English teacher says, this is not my cup of tea, this is not my responsibility, I am in 9th class, let everyone others, who are those others? And those others will not do well. That is why this rotational system, everybody should be put to lower classes. If you don't, quit as a teacher. My point is, quit as a teacher. If you cannot take responsibility, if you say, I can't do this, you quit as a teacher. You are only discouraging others, demoralizing others. You don't have time, you don't have interest, you don't want others to take interest. So this is a very, very dangerous situation. See, what we are giving you here is from a standard point of view. Thinking that, you just see, 6th and 7th, you have laid the foundation. From standard point of view, we think, we talk. Now, when that practical situation is not there, I told you the other day that you have to somehow manage the situation. Present, obviously, present 10th and 12th, you can't do that. I'm not telling there you have to do that point, in those kind of situations. That is understood. Why are you worried too much about it? And even if you conduct it, it will give an exposure, that's all. Conduct it without any kind of pressure, just to give an exposure. And this kind of activities, to find out the real English of the children, first you do all other kind of activities which could be done frequently in the classroom itself or maybe in the halls. You do all other kind of activities which you have already done all these days. And then this kind of activity which takes long time, you have to collaborate with other teachers. One fine day, you have to just say, this day we require the assistance of all teachers. Make a timetable, free yourself one day, take the permission of all teachers, half a day you take, and make them also sit in the hall, let them also see how it is working out. And when you're giving these topics, this topics ranges from all subjects, science to sports and social studies, and all this sport, adventure, you can give even PT sirs can be called there, because it will give them an awareness that all of them need to speak English, whether it is sports, whether it is science department, all of them need to speak English. So English, this kind of activity, once in a while if you do, once or twice a year, that is enough. So this is not to be done frequently by teacher as such, but mock rehearsals, you get it done through the children, making one as the teacher. His ego, his confidence level will boost up. Oh, I am the teacher, I am interviewing these people. And next time the other person will say, I'll become the teacher now. Sir, I will become the teacher. Yeah, sure, why not? So please go ahead with courage. Otherwise, you will be left with no other option other than thinking of only examination. Now, some people, yesterday, some sisters or brothers, they expressed concern. They say, concerns. They say, now another 3 months exams are coming. This we'll do from next year onwards. Now, if you think that way, just think already so much time is lost. Another 4 months also, if you lose, what will become of the handwriting of the children? What will become of them? Another 4 months to go. You should not think about exam at all for 6th and 7th. You should say 6th and 7th is a time for gathering stage and monthly tests. Every month you have to conduct unannounced tests, informal tests by the teacher, 5 marks giving, that you keep conducting and keep converting it to grades. But don't think of something like exam and then after exam next year we will be free. Never you will be free. You take it from me, never you are going to be free. Something or the other will come up, and then you will be left with only 4 months. Then you will say next year you will say Navaratri has come, and then you will say birthday will come. You will be left with only 3 months throughout the year only. In our institution, there are hardly about 4-5 months. That's all. I think probably 4 months that you will get continuously to teach. June to, I don't know, March or June to, if there are no summer holidays. If there are summer holidays, that is, now Swami is not giving summer holidays probably, right? So you will have continuously from maybe April, May, June, May onwards. Let's say May, you will get full. May, June, July, August, September. September, you will have Navaratri. So say 5 months. Take it from me. For teachers, we have only 5 months regularly. After that, you will have Navaratri, you will have birthday, Akhanda Bhajan, you will get. And December, January, okay, January sports meets, because COVID it has stopped. Otherwise, sports meet, that whole December will go. No, practice test sessions will start by December 15th itself. And then December goes January 15th. Until January 15th, 20th, it will go. Then you will have February, March. Then you will say it is final exam. Where is the time? Just think, brothers and sisters. So don't think in a negative way. This is my kind request. Don't worry about it. I'm really stunned. Anything that is given, if you come up with problems, you have to find solution. This is the standard. What is given to you is a standard. If you keep coming and telling the problems only, then what can be done? Then nothing can be done for it. Then we have to just, keep giving lessons to you and keep giving question answers and tell you to conduct examinations. So please think from this is my kind request. See, I'm not discouraging you. What I'm trying to tell is everybody is very, very optimistic. There are some people, they're so worried about everything. How to do this? If the number of children is more, find a solution. You are there to find solutions only. You see, for example, here what we have is problem task only. No, problem task. You have to find solution. This is also, life itself is a problem. Where are you going to get everything perfectly? Tell me. Everything should be perfect. And then we ourselves, we are not ready to teach small children also. And we complain that problems are there. See, what a ironical thing it is. We are neither ready to teach small children, and then we keep complaining also. How ridiculous. You should be ready to take small children. Papa, what will become of them? Think of it. If everyone says it is not my cup of tea, who will take care of small children then? Were you not a child? Now today our handwriting is not good because we have also suffered the same way. Are we going to do the same mistake henceforth? See, all activity-based method only Swami wants it to be done. Not any more pen paper. Kick it out of your vocabulary of your mind. No more pen paper at all. It should be only activity-based method only. So this is one very, very important thing. When it could be done once or twice a year, this could be done by teacher himself. Mock rehearsals, you can do it any number of times to find out. Now and then you have to find out who is doing well. And the teacher should keep monitoring it. The teacher should keep going around and monitoring it, noting down the marks, see how they are doing. That's how he should collect the real feedback. See, the real feedback is something different. Students will give some feedback out of fear also. The real feedback is something in disguise. If you go only, king goes in disguise to find the real feedback. If you say give a feedback, we don't know what is that feedback. So you have to find out the real feedback from the children, how they are really speaking in English. You can't go by the words of others or by marks. Marks will never give you unless you go to them and find out informally how they are speaking. They should not at all know that you are actually judging them. That is why unasked, unprepared, unannounced tests, sudden tests, in fact. Suddenly you should say, now let me say how you are going to write the handwriting. Suddenly conduct a test and see, that will be the real performance. Similarly, I should like to say, suppose for discipline, If I want to judge a school, what I would do, see, in front of, when Swami comes, everybody will be sadhus. When Swami comes to this institution, everybody will be silent and they'll be sitting. Or when principal comes, that time everybody will be like, or teacher comes and shouts, everybody will be like, corridors, jumping on others. Can you call this culture? See, most often I find teachers, some teachers, they raise some concerns. They say, children, we should not think too much about it. Now, that is why Mahabharata war happened. Take it from me, dear sisters and brothers. That is why Mahabharata war happened. Because that Duryodhana, when he was small, he was not corrected. And later he became a menace to society. He killed lakhs of people and made lakhs of widows. Lakhs of people became widows because this one person, Duryodhana. For his sake, the father, kept on adding fuel to it. These things are more important than activity. The attitude of a teacher is very, very important. So these are the things which has to be done not every day by the teacher himself. If the teacher himself has to find out once or twice a year, after giving all other spoken language activities, after conducting that and giving exposures and all that, lot of exposure has to be given, then only tests has to be conducted. That also informal. I told it. See, again and again I'm telling this. Tests will have to be conducted informally only after giving thorough practice. Otherwise, don't give. Don't give all this. Assessments, I'm telling you how it should be done, only after you are sure that you have given enough practice for speaking, listening, they have vocabulary. How did I do it? Tell me, how did I do it successfully all these days? We have done only such things. We have done only such things. And for listening, speaking, I used to tell principal, we want today 2 periods. I used to talk to the teacher, get 2-3 periods, half a day full you take. And other teachers also used to appreciate. I used to tell them this is very important to find out pronunciation because it is important for all subjects. They will come. I told, no, that what is that shloka? I told, Arambhante alpameva agnaha, kamam vyagra bhavanti cha. There are people, ignorant, will start petty works and they start getting agitated for everything. They'll have complaint. Complaint masters, they are called. And there are other people who will go according to their principle, objective, and they will meet with any obstacle. Come what may, I must achieve it. Let me see what's going to happen. Let me meet with obstacles. Let me meet with thousands of failures. I will not deter myself from doing this. See, that is the mark of a hero or a heroic life. So please go ahead with whatever you have been told. Now I'll just come to the last part of it. Let's close this. And now this is a most important time for us to what we say, contemplate. Very, very important. Now coming to the last. Common syllabus. What can be the common syllabus? What can be the common assessment criteria? Now, for example, one campus will do one way. They will say, we have done this. They are full of enthusiasm. Everybody who wants to become a speaker, the speakers are so enthusiastic. I will do whatever I'm speaking, I will not know time at all. I'll keep speaking for 3 hours together. But a speaker is one who will be conscious of the time given to him, allotted to him. Otherwise, he should know that it is becoming a torture for the listeners. Therefore, everyone thinks that, we are doing the best, our school, we are devising the best quality, we are doing the best thing in the world. But what we are failing to understand, there are certain basic things which are indispensable. You do any number of activities, and first of all, we are shy to do activities. And we don't give basics. So, 2 dangerous things. We don't do activities also. We don't give basics also. We are left with only what? Rote learning. We are left with only rote learning. How dangerous a situation. We are all in a very dangerous situation, dear brothers and sisters. I am telling you, I am openly, frankly, I am telling you, we are in a dangerous position in learning, teaching, learning process. And in this journey, we are really in a dangerous position. We have to ourselves improve first. And then we have to come out with solutions for children. These are the 2 things staring at our face gravely for us. So, let's see now, begin with 6th class. Just you understand this and then note it if you want. See, what happens, if we understand and write in your mind, we'll never forget it. If we really assimilate and write in our minds. Otherwise, we are going to forget it. Even if you write also, it will not be of help to you. Afterwards, if you see that, whatever you have written, in what context I wrote this? Because I have not understood it. Therefore, you just concentrate, if you understand, and then I'll give you time to write it. Just see how scientific, how logical. And one more thing about doing all this kind of methodology is, We have tried all the other method all these years, and we have seen no better results are coming. We are all suffering. We all have seen. So why not take a risk now? Change something, do something. Why not take a risk? No problem. So now let's see. So a little more down, we have to go. Top, there is something heading also. So this is just one glimpse of how this is a common methodology for 6th class. Now, 6th class, we are thinking of a special methodology other than the 7th to 10th, 7th to 12th, common. But 6th is special. 6th is not like 7th. Because it is the first year the boys are coming to us, or our sisters are coming, sisters and brothers are coming, first year to us. Therefore, how we should deal with them is a very crucial thing. Syllabus and methodology for teaching 6th class. It should be a special way. What it could be, let us see what it could be. Generally, see, all this will put a question to your mind. Is it ever possible? I am going to tell something for everything of which you will feel, is it possible? But then you think from first, you forget about the practical difficulty and think whether the principle is true or not. Most often we have seen now, for example, writing. In one period, you take it from me, controlling the discipline and everything, one period will not be sufficient for 6th class. And fortunately, our principal and our people are so good, they gave two periods for me. And I took it for 1 year completely. 2 periods continuously for 6th class. And madam knows here. They all know. I was taking 2 periods continuously. I told principal, if you want really good improvement for them, give me 2 periods. So he gave me 2 periods continuously. So 6th class, for nearly 7 to 8 months or 1 full year, I started taking 2 periods. Minimum, because you have to control them, you have to guide them, you have to go to them and correct them. When you write something, they require time. It cannot be done in 1 period. In just 40 minutes, it will be, within the winking of an eye, they will be shouting, that Lata madam told us that day, and then how much sentences you have read? Only 5 sentences, and class will come to an end. It will happen like that. So 2 periods, you will have to ask, you have to tell your principal, 2 periods are required for English every day, continuously for English, per day. 2 periods are required, so that you can do a good job. And when should that English period must be? It should not be at a time where you feel sleepy. For example, soon after breakfast. No, it's like a sleeping pill. Some people, heavy breakfast means you will feel sleepy. There, if you read a poem, it will be a lullaby for them. I wandered lonely as a cloud. He'll be dozing there. Don't give English at a time when they may feel sleepy. Don't give English at a time when you may feel sleepy. Give them at a time when they are fresh. Before food, when they'll be a little hungry. 4th or 5th period. 4th and 5th period. That's the time you have to give English. After food, if you give, positively dangerous. English should not be. Whereas, see, mathematics can be given after food. We have our psychologist madam here. Asha madam will fully agree with that. Craft work or drawing work. Any activity-based thing. Even English, if you want some activity-based thing. Don't read out poems. Don't read lessons. Don't give lectures. Do's and don'ts. Nothing will go into their heads after food. So you have to have some craft work or something, take them outside, role play, drama, give them script, workout. That will be very good. So 2 periods every day for English, and then prerequisites are very important. Now you may say, again, see, questions will come. Who will provide all this? See, every stage you will say, can we provide a project? I am giving you the ideal solution. You have to work it out. We are to tell what you should do. How it should be done, you have to do it. That is your problem. So, what is the ideal? What should be done only we will say. Because what we have carried out in our life, what we feel is correct, we are going to present to you. How you are going to do it, everything we may not be able to say everything. You have to find out the solution. But definitely, you ponder over it, you will feel how logical it is. See, the prerequisites. What are the prerequisites which are required for an English teacher? Printed cursive books, 4-line cursive books. And in printed cursive books, sometimes it will not be standard one. You have to have a standard one. So we will give you something that that be the prescribed book for everything. Because looking at the there'll be something which will be from basic level, even to develop curves. They require time, psychomotor skills, the nerves. So from 6th class, how to that cursive writing, how to make it curved way, all that they will train it by looking, and they will have dotted lines. It will be of immense help for teachers. But they cannot escape from writing on the board. That may be a help, but they cannot escape from writing on the board. They cannot say, I will not write, but let them use only printed book. But today or tomorrow, they are going to see you. They are expecting to see you writing on the board. That will only motivate them, no other thing. Next one, Longman's Dictionary of Contemporary English. Now here there is something called it is, see, immediately you don't have to worry. See, dictionary also, first 3 months or 2 months probably you don't require dictionary, because you have to learn syllables, you have to learn stress, you have to learn consonants, vowels. All those symbols you can only teach without dictionary. But then to explore it, you definitely require dictionary. That too, that dictionary which contains all the words. And once they do that, later it is not required. So this is one thing which is, because teachers, as Swami said, they can actually substitute it with their mobiles. They may be able to substitute it with their mobiles. But what about students? Can we give mobiles, internet for every student? If they want to learn if they want to learn pronunciation, can we supply iPads or iPhones or to everyone, or pads, so that they can do? Cannot do. Therefore, we have to give dictionaries only. But the advantage is, if you give dictionaries at 6th class level, they can use it till not only 12th, it will be there with them lifelong. So it's not a waste. Where is it a waste? It cannot be a waste. Therefore, dictionaries will be lifelong friend for them. So please go ahead and now especially, there are not many MNB students. I saw that in all campuses here also, not many, hardly about for till 10th class, 12th class. And then audio visuals downloaded from internet or CDs. Now, what are the types that we showed to you? You have to be selective. We will give you one, at some point of time, we will also give you one kind of syllabus that is for audio visuals, listed down, which are the different Amar Chitrakathas. And for different levels, you have to have different syllabus. 6th class, what could be shown? So these things could be shown. 6th and 7th we saw today, that those things could be shown. But I have another CD here. It is written there, Mahatma Gandhi's. It is a very serious video. Or there is one more, Who Am I? That they can't understand. That is for 8th, 9th. I have brought that also. I didn't get time to show it. So levels, different levels, you have to form syllabus for audio visuals. You have to form syllabus. 6th class, these are the things. Form the syllabus. Audio visual syllabus. 7th class, what could be shown? That is a syllabus you have to cover throughout the year. You have to give 1 day time for that. You have to give 1 or 2 days time for it. For audio visuals alone. So like that, we have to have audio visuals and one library for it, or one kind of, an almirah where you can store the CDs, where you can store the dictionaries. Now, 6th class, for example, one sister told me, if we give the dictionaries, they may tear. A very correct thing it is. Because what I do here, I keep, for 6th class, what I did, I kept all the dictionaries inside an almirah in the classroom. And then when I used to come to the class, I used to give them for 6th class. Gradually, they'll learn to keep it safely. But in 6th class, they may tear it, it may go somewhere, it may be misplaced, and 800 rupees, 700 to 800 rupees each dictionary. Therefore, we may have to be very careful. You have to have an almirah, and you should lock it. Teacher will have a key. When he comes, he should use it. Story books, audio visuals downloaded from internet or CDs on online. Story books with color pictures and illustrations for informal reading. See, plenty of story books. I'm telling sisters and brothers, think about it. Just think about it. Informal reading is so very important at a formal, that formative stage. Informal reading of story books. They must be supplied with so many story books with pictures. They'll get interest to read. Informally, don't teach them anything. Just tell them read. Then you can have, what is this foundation course for small children? What is the syllabus that you are planning? First 3 months. Concentrate only on cursive writing. See, you can concentrate only on cursive writing. Depends. Some teachers may bring it about in 3 months. Some teachers may take 6 months. Depends. We can't make a hard and fast rule saying that in a year. That's why we say at the end of 6th and 7th, they should have learnt all this. Swami will give you 2 years. Make them thorough in basics. Do it by your way. Make them, hook or by crook, they should have good handwriting, and they must have very good spoken, this one, getting the exposures from listening and reading informal book, that your job is done. 6th and 7th, 2 years you have got. Do anything. So supply them with all this, first 3 months. But my experience tells me, that I just wanted to share, you need not do the same way. You can also have part by part method, like 10 minutes for audio visuals in the class. You may feel that they may get bored. We can't teach handwriting. Therefore, 10 minutes audio visuals. Then 10 minutes or 15 minutes you can teach writing. 10 or 15 minutes you can teach writing. So first, I have given it that way only here. Start from alphabets and proceed to words and then sentences, last paragraph, copying from the board. This is the overall method given. Each will take long time. 20 minutes you keep for audio visuals every day. You will yourself feel, if we don't concentrate more on writing, they will not learn on it. It will keep on going. It will keep on going, So writing, I personally suggest, it is my personal suggestion only, that if you focus on only writing, you can finish it in 3-4 months. And then you can pick up all other things, phonetics, everything, they can pick up faster. Handwriting is a hard nut to crack. It will really test your temper. You will feel, we cannot do it, let me give it up. But if you give up, you are giving up one of the biggest criteria of becoming an English teacher. An English teacher is supposed to have good handwriting. And he is responsible for their children. You must take accountability. You can't say, I'm not responsible for my children. If the children are good, because of you, they are good. And then, next 3 months, suppose you have brought them to a level in writing. They have started writing well, cursive writing and all that. So everyday copywriting, now they start just doing 10 minutes, it is required enough for them. In the beginning, 3 months, they may take 20-25 minutes. Afterwards, 10 minutes, 1-2 pages, they'll write easily. And you can write on the board, they'll quickly keep pace with you. Their speed will increase and they'll be able to write faster, even with good handwriting. So next 3 months, you can start teaching phonetics. So consonant sound, diphthongs, vowels, and then, lower stress, upper stress, syllables, and then lower stress, upper stress, and then phonetic transcriptions, actual explorations that you have done. And tell me, right from first standard, have we not taught them A, B, C, D? Like that only they should learn sounds also, isn't it? A, E, U. They should learn at a formative level. You can't teach them when they come to 8th, 9th. You have to teach them phonetics in 6th class. That is the only age you have to teach them. Then we have to, next 3 months, after teaching them phonetics, everyday revision of what they have learnt already. This is very important for a teacher. Before he does anything further, he always should revise what he has done for 5 minutes or something. Revision of cursive writing and then revision of phonetics and then audiovisual. So all 3 will be covered now after they have learned. So all 3 will be in the same class, in a class of 40 minutes. In the beginning, you require 2 periods. Maybe 3 months, 6 months, whatever the teacher, depends on teacher. After you teach them cursive writing, you can manage with 1 period a day. You can manage with 1 period a day. In the beginning, if you don't give more time for 6th class students for English, how can you manage to bring out good results? Tell me, brothers and sisters. So you have to convince them. Otherwise, you have to suffer with only 1 period. And then they'll say, you have not brought without 2 periods. I have to leisurely do it, properly do it, relaxedly do it. I can't keep shouting at the children. They're all small children. They require some time to settle down. Tell them all these things and tell English being very important. Please don't treat it same like other subjects. English is required for all subjects. Give it more importance. You have to tell that. Give it more importance. You can't say English is equal to social science and science. They also require subjects. You can't say like that. I remember somebody telling, no, every other subject can wait. English cannot wait. Otherwise, you will be harming the entire career of the child. Please impress upon them that English requires in the beginning 6 or 3 or 6 months until the teacher tells, the class teacher should tell, or the one who is teaching English should tell. Now they are quite good. They have picked up all this handwriting. Then you can have 1 period a day. Then spoken language activities to help, teachers can take the help of spoken language CDs and all that. These are the prerequisites. Activities, you must have a list. You must have a list of the activities. We are going to tell that also. Then you should have assessment. How the assessment should be done for, these are only for specially made for 6th class. What should be assessed? What you teach only should be assessed. What we teach should be assessed after a long period of time, after they are comfortable, after they are perfect and thorough. And remedial, before you assess, please give them a chance. If they fail, you conduct retest. Remedial test. Don't say this is your final. You have to conduct remedial teaching, remedial tests. You can't say this is your end, this is the last thing. Then, so what are the things to be tested for 6th class? See, we teach handwriting. We teach handwriting, we have to teach cursive writing. We have to test cursive writing. So for 6th class assessments, do nothing but this only. How much ever you keep finishing, once in a while, once in a month, keep testing that only. Alphabets, you have taught them. Handwriting, capital letters, you have now taught them. Give that test. You have completed the small letters, give that. If you have completed, they know how to write now words joining each other in cursive writing, give words. If you have taught them sentences also, give that test. So only handwriting test. Don't be in a hurry. Without teaching them only, if you are going to give some big test, tests are not important at all. Swami has told umpteen number of times. Still some of us, we think, no, examination, test, how bad? We are doing positive harm to the children. Then phonetics should be tested. How? This kind of tests. I have given now we gave you mock rehearsals. 2 types of dictionary tests you can give. One, you can pronounce and they have to write the phonetic transcription with the symbols. Second, you write the symbols on the board. They call one by one or just randomly, or call, if it is an assessment after teaching them well, call one by one. They have to pronounce it in front of you. Give them marks, 1 mark. So this kind of dictation tests will make them thorough. 2 ways, either oral test and written test, both dictation tests in phonetics. Make them thorough in the usage of phonetics. Then listening skills can be tested. How? After giving them thorough exposure of listening. First few months, don't do it. You give them 2 months of exposure. Like this Amar Chitra Kathas, put them, fill their minds with that. See the improvement in their character and behavior. If you fill them with audio visuals and narrating stories, your narrating stories, teachers narrating stories is also very important. Just think about it. Have we ever narrated so many stories? Very rarely, probably. What have we done in 6th class other than narrating stories to children? Just imagine teachers. That is the most important thing that we have to do. Narrate to them stories. Make them enjoy. Let them laugh and enjoy well. Did not Narada tell so many stories to Prahlada even when he was in womb? Same thing we should do. We think we have to teach them something. We have to just tell them stories, inspiring stories from real life, from Puranas. Bring that Bharatiya culture into them. Then reading skills, informal reading. What are the different informal reading that we have to supply? Different story books. Amar Chitra Kathas, good books, with pictures, especially for 6th class. And then I saw in stores here, in our stores, there are 2 books. One is moral stories. There is a book called Moral Stories, but that is of a higher language, probably for 8th and 9th. Another book is there, Virtuous Children. Have you seen? Virtuous Children. I don't know if you have seen that book in our stores. Virtuous Children. It is a very beautiful book. Small children, bravery, acts of bravery recounted there. And then spoken language, simple speaking and conversations at the end of the year. May not be in the beginning at all. After you give thorough, in the end, probably the 6th class, you can just conduct for some 5 marks. Simple, that too informally it is better. You see how they are talking informally when you are talking to them or they are talking to each other. Find out how they are talking, then assess them like that. Don't tell them that you are assessing at all. That is the way you have to find out the assessment. You have to give marks. I feel that 80% we are doing wrong in a wrong direction actually. We are doing formally, we are announcing tests. This is all creating fear, total fear. Otherwise, why we should do this workshop at all? This is a workshop introducing, look at that, what we have put it there, introducing a joyful methodology and a creative way. It is not that we already have it. We have never applied it all these years. We have failed in applying all this correct way of doing it. We have been doing it in a formal way, lecturing-based methods, which will always fail for children. Okay, next one, Mahida. How do I go? Next, let us come to common syllabus for all campuses for all other classes. 6th, we have already seen. Only cursive writing, phonetics, audiovisuals till December. If need be, the basics can be extended till the end of the year. It is important to go slow and steady for the basics and then pick up speed gradually like a relay race. Then for other classes, Now, other classes, this is very important, are W. What is this LSRW? This is the common syllabus from 7th to 12th. Why do we propose this as the common syllabus from 7th to 12th? It is because one-sided assessment is always deficient. We cannot really, a child, I already told you, a child may write well, but he may not speak well. And if we have only writing as at the end of the year, we may not be able to really find out who is really good student at all. So in order to find out how a student is in all aspects of English cover, this is listening. If I'm speaking something, are you able to only understand? That is enough for me. That is listening part. Are you able to understand it? Now, Telugu, for example, if Swami talks, I can understand. I can't speak in Telugu. But something I'm good, something, I have some knowledge of Telugu. You can't say I'm zero in Telugu. Therefore, listening is one thing where we have to give importance to listening. So that syllabus must be made. Syllabus for listening. And every month, how this should be done, this whole thing, every month for 20 marks. Each one 5 marks should be assessed every month. Each month, every month, 5 marks at the end of the month, we have to assess each of the skills put together, and each skill you can give for 20 marks. For example, you tone it down to 5 marks, that's all. You can give for little more, 10. You may feel that I'll be comfortable to give a listening activity for 10 marks. Okay, but bring it down to 5. So, activities criteria also we will tell you. So, now, if you conduct 5 marks, you'll get it for 20 marks. And then you convert that to grade. Every month, if you want to show the results, or once in 3 months you want to show the results, you have to convert that to grade. Blessed by Swami, I'll just give you that. Let me go step by step. Let me come to this. Audio visuals, listening exposures, how do we test? This is for assessment for all classes, so syllabus, audio visuals and other listening materials. And then speaking exposures, different spoken language activities. Different spoken language activities that we have conducted till now. Any such can be invented. You are the master. You can keep devising. You can modulate. You can tone it to your, convenience. You can do any such activities. Role plays, recitation, poem recitations, loud reading of the prose, elocutions, debates, seminars, and then, all those activities that we conducted, which had spoken language, all yesterday, day before yesterday, all those can be converted. Reading exposures, this is one part of the syllabus. All 4 will form the syllabus for all campuses. If you are doing all 4 only, you can have good children in English. What is that reading exposure? Short stories, prose and poems and dramas by different writers, especially by Indian authors. Swami has told, by Indian authors, more importantly. And the best of the Western authors can be also added. Then writing exposures. What are these writing exposures? Relevant creative writing activities. Relevant creative writing activities. So, for example, 7th onwards, 6th class, heaven's sake, don't give creative writing. 6th class, never give them letter writing, write a letter. Only handwriting we are developing. 7th class onwards, creative writing can start if the class is ready. Otherwise, take 7th also for basic. Take 7th also for basic. So practically either from 7th, depending upon the teacher, depending upon the children, if they are ready, 7th or 8th onwards, you should start letter writings, what is that? Article writing, paragraph writing. Tell me some creative activities, creative writings, essay writing, and then report writing, message writing, okay, and then, speech writing, okay, dialogue writing, all these writing, whatever you can invent of in writing. Creative writings, it is called, creative writings. And then dialogue writing, that's very good, script writing, all these will come under creative writings. You have to invent, teachers should, prepare all this material. We will give you one kind of material after some time. We are going to prepare it and send it to you. But that is only, it's not that you should stick to it. It's not, there's no hard and fast rule that you have, provided you do better than that. Don't bring down the quality, that's all. What we give, suppose, you say we don't do this and we go down the quality and you say that children are not ready. See, this is the usual complaint. Give them challenge. When our institutions, Sathya institutions must have children who are very good in English. We can't keep telling them, the children are not ready. We have to go down to their level. It is very difficult. It will not work out. These are complaints, I tell you, only thoughtless complaints. If you prepare 6th class very well, 7th class very well, why can't we have very strong, very beautiful standard for all classes? Don't compromise with standard from 8th class onwards. They must be like ICSE. I feel our Sathya Sai students must be like very great philosophers right from 8th class. Very good selection of prose, very good selection of poetries. If I was not given this challenge, today I would not have got the guts to speak like that. Continuously for 5 hours for standing, and that too for 1 week. I would not have been able to do. If I was told by my teachers, to make it easy for me. I was always given challenge, I remember. I was always given a challenge and I was told, you should do, perform or go. Do or no, now or never is the time. That's how we learned that we have to cater to, no, we can't compromise. We have to do, otherwise we'll be nowhere. You should do, now or never is the time, like that. You make the children do that. Then only, and don't accept any less result from them. Show that you are not happy with them. Kind of, happy means you should not be, praise them so much. Then writing exposures, then grammar checks. Grammar should start only from 8th or 7th if they are ready. If they are ready, okay. Otherwise 8th, after they have the basics ready. Grammar is only for the learned. I am telling repeatedly, grammar, don't bring in grammar for beginners. We should not bring in grammar for beginners. It is only meant for learned. After you learn the language, you learn to speak, you learn to write, then only the grammar should be brought in to make it better, to hone the skills. Wren and Martin is the best book, which is a graded book. So this is something called, graded book, or some books will cater to class-wise. But Wren and Martin is a graded book. What is a graded book? It caters to 6th class. It will cater to 12th class. It will cater to adults also. How beautifully they have explained, I tell you. You will not find a better book than Wren and Martin. I have always got inspired by that beautiful book. And one book if you supply, like dictionary, 6th class if you supply that, it will be there for 12th and afterwards also. That is for Grammy. Please come, Vinod. We welcome a great hero among youngsters. We should all give them a big hand. And he is our Vinod brother, who is with Swami always, serving Swami always.
That's enough introduction. It's okay.
Okay, and yesterday actually Swami told in a lighter vein, it seems to him, you should tell how you have improved in English. And then, he told me, and we said, you should come and inspire us.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my humble pranams at Swami's lotus feet. Respected elders, brothers, sisters, Saram to all of you. Other day, Swami mentioned that I used to speak terrible English and I used to get terrified. And it is actually true. So I hail from North Karnataka, where English speaking skills are very rare. They write good English, they read, but when it comes to speaking, it is very rare, and they'll not speak properly, their pronunciation is not good. So I joined here in 2006 for 5th standard. There Shivanand sir taught us how to write cursive writing, slowly, word by word. So there was one lesson, so we used to get up and read like lesson number 1 dash dash dash. So there was one particular lesson, know me. So sir told you stand up and read. So I started lesson number 1, know me. I didn't know that. Then suddenly Shivanand sir's stick landed on my back. Then I realized, sir, what is wrong? No, it is know me, not know me. He had already told, but we in a surprise will just forget, and when it comes to reading, and we'll just forget whatever we had learned and started know me. So there slowly sir started telling us how to write cursive writing, how to talk with each other, and spelling. He used to conduct exams on spellings. So there, but conversation based learning was not there. It was just one way. So we were good at writing, we were good at grammar, but when it comes to speaking, we were not so good. So when we went to high school, there Vasantraj sir was our teacher. He taught very good English, grammar especially. So there again we were good at writing, but when it's come to speaking, we were not good. So just now he was telling that the LSR, W, but when it speaking is also very important. So in high school, what we were doing, they used to teach English, but we used to understand it Kannada. Then when exam comes, we used to translate from our Kannada to English. So we never thought in English and transcribed in English. So we used to think in Kannada, then again translate it into English. So in our old schools, what they used to do, they for namesake they were English teacher, but they used to explain everything in Kannada. They used to read one line, then what is the meaning of this? They used to explain, but they never taught us how you should start thinking in English. If English teacher means he should know English, then translate it to Kannada, then should so that students will understand. So in high school also same thing happened. There were no scope for speaking in English. Even others, students are also they used to speak in Kannada. So we never spoke to each other in English. So in same thing happened in PU. B.R. Kulkarni sir used to teach us. He made English learning very interesting with his jokes and all. But we didn't get the opportunity to express ourselves with our friends, with our teachers in English. Again, it was because there were a lot of students were there, 80, 90. So if everybody has to speak in English, it was very difficult. So I used to, with the time constraint, with the syllabus in mind, so they used to, it's okay if one or two speak in English. So the conversation part was still doubtful. So my main English started, I started learning when I joined Excellence, because many people used to come from different states, they were not knowing Kannada. Then even Vijay Sai sir used to teach us. So there I started learning how to speak in English. So there were many accents, people used to come from Vizag, some from Kerala. They had their own accents, like Vizag fellows used to say paper instead of paper, famous, then a lot of sweet. What is this? Then again, somebody were from Puttaparthi school. So they said, why? What? So all these different things, and even Kerala, calling. So all this, there was new stuff. So like that. Then Vijay Sai sir used to ask us, come and speak, come and speak. So he started telling us, you should think in English. So there suddenly he'll tell, imagine you are a cow. So he'll give a topic, just 10 minutes back. As soon as he enters the class, he'll select each and everybody and he'll give a topic. Imagine you are a cow, imagine you are a driver, imagine you are driving a car or something. So then my topic was cow. So think, if you are a cow, what you will be thinking. So I should think in English. So my name is Lakshmi. I live in Goshala. I give this much of milk. So actually, we started thinking in English. So then, when it comes, we used to make a lot of mistakes. So again, if imagine you are driving a car. First, what we have to do: open the car, then put a key, then start, then put the pedal, move the gear. So all this, we started to think in English. So then slowly, then I used to go to Sadhguru that time. So I was not knowing full English. So he used to, the only medium of communication was English. I was knowing Kannada, then half Hindi, but he was not knowing any Kannada or other. So I started speaking with him in English. There he really got terrified. I used to tell, instead of pocket milk, I used to get packet milk. What is the difference? Both are one and the same. So this pronunciation, they were all so wrong. So again, we were in drama, and a lot of youth meet, world youth meet, they used to happen there. We started listening. That is one part which I learned English by listening. Then imitation. So I used to imitate people. So like Siddhant is there. His voice is so good. Whenever he anchors, I tried to imitate him. Then drama, because we were part of drama, so you have to speak in English. So there slowly I learned. Then I used to read news, English newspaper. There my vocabulary got improved. I got to know new words. So slowly, I used to put a lot of effort. Even our friends, in our brothers in excellence, they also created an atmosphere, because many were not good at English. So we created an atmosphere where mistakes are allowed. So we encouraged each and everyone to speak in English. So unless we speak in English, we might be good at grammar, we might be good at reading, we might be good at writing, but only when we speak, when we start speaking, our reality will come to know. So then I finished my internship. Then Swami, he used to tell us that you used to write email, or you used to send a message. So there, I used to compile mail, Then he used to correct it. So slowly, he also taught us how to go forward. So now I was just looking at this structure, like what Anand Krishna sir has made. It is so meticulously planned, very structured based learning. For us, even till 7th, we just how to spell, how to write. There is no grammar aspect. So when we started learning in 8th, then only we studied grammar. So this really helped the children to improve their English. So this is what I just wanted to share. There are so many other things, but I don't know. I just forgot some things. So it's nice to learn English.
When we were listening to Vinod just now, see, one of those things we came to our minds, how children are suffering when they come from that background, how we face different kind of problems. See, Vinod described his situation at a young age, in an ambience where there was no scope for any speaking, there was no scope for listening. That's exactly the problem that we are actually pondering upon from last few days. That without listening only we want to run forth, we want to just conduct assessments without giving the training itself in the basics of listening and reading. And he has rightly come and he has put those problems, Swami has sent him at the right time to just reinforce this idea that we have to have faith in that kind of activities that we do. We should not be afraid of the results. And he said, mistakes were encouraged. Doesn't matter. You commit mistakes. The results may not come sometimes, but given exposure, that over a period of time, that exposures will help you. Really, I don't know how we should thank Vinod. With such difficult environment, he has faced all that, and he has taken it as a challenge, and he has come up. And today, he's speaking so well. It's music to our ears. He speaks so beautifully, and he is right, and he is the shadow of Swami. I should say, he is the shadow of Swami. Every moment, he'll be with Swami. And he'll sacrifice his time, darshan time. I will catch him when darshans are going on, because that is the only time he finds himself free. So that darshan times he'll be there, I know. Generally, he'll be in Premamritam, Swami in Premamritam, so he'll be free. Otherwise, he'll be with Swami. So we thank Vinod brother from the bottom of our hearts for coming here and telling his. Swami told it since yesterday, you should go and speak, and he's obedient, means 100% obedience and 100% surrender to Swami. He's a role model for all of us. Thank you, Vinod. Thank you so much. Thank you. To teach. We have taught. Assessment is also for that. Now, why uniform assessment system, first of all? Now, why can't we do according to our wish? Who will cater to this? We will do our way of assessment. One campus, we will do our way. Another campus, we will do other way. Why must we at all have one uniform? Very dangerous thing. I'll tell you one most beautifully. It's an insight for us. Just think, in one school only, I'll just repeat this, I've already mentioned this once. In one school, there are 2 sections. Why we require the same kind of assessment pattern to compare and to contrast? In the same school, there are 2 classes, 2 sections, and one teacher, English teacher is teaching one section, another teacher is teaching another section. Now, one teacher, he is very strict. Somebody, each one will have his own way of thought, his or her own way of thinking. So one teacher thinks that if we are strict, if we value strictly, and if we are very strict in valuation, then it will help the children. We must not be lenient. This is one person's way of thinking. The other teacher will think, we must be lenient. We must give easy question paper. And we must give more marks. Popularity may be there. What happens when you give marks and when you are lenient, you will become popular. But at the end of the day, when it comes to results, you may not be bringing out that results probably. So children will be very happy. They may be lauding you. They may be praising you to the skies. So sir will give us marks, because children will be happy with only these things. If you give marks, they'll garland you. Just give marks, give treats, show video shows. That's enough for them. But really, if you want to bring out results, you will have to be sometimes strict. You will have to take on that. You have to brave that. You can't be a very goody-goody person always. So therefore, one teacher, suppose is very strict. Now what happens when they conduct the different kinds of assessment? How do we as a third person or third party, see, somewhere or other, comparison is bound to crop up. Because people, see, Swami himself told one thing. It is not partiality. Swami himself told, in high school I saw that it was, see, our Vinod's brother himself told, in high school this was taught but this was not taught. Comparison is bound to come today or tomorrow between campuses, between different sections and different teachers. If there are 2-3 teachers, how are the students of this class? How are the students of that madam, of this teacher? Comparison is bound to come. Now when it comes, if you do it your own way, suppose one teacher has given very easy question paper and a lot of lenient correction, and in spite of not being good, suppose they have got very good marks, 95. No, that was what happening in high school. I have taken 3 years complete PUC here. And when the boys were coming, I was teaching CBSE, the boys were coming from state, I used to ask them, how much marks you have got? They used to say 95, 91, 95. But they found it difficult to speak. Because they were tuned to only examination. They used to give printed notes, by heart these questions, it will come in the exam. In English, they were treating it as some other way because they thought that is important. See, they were not wrong in that way. What I'm trying to tell is, if you think in different ways, each teacher will think in his different way. They think that examination is more important now. Examination is the immediate need of the hour. They think like that. Therefore, we can't say they are wrong. But then from holistic point of view, how do you judge everybody? You can't have CBSE one. That's why Swami made it everyone in iOS. Now you have to judge. Now if you have to judge 2 sections, if you do like that, if you give total freedom to everybody, what will happen? Well, it will be chaos. One teacher will get 95% marks, as her result or as his result, but the children will be not actually good in truth. And one teacher will be doing very strict correction. Though they are good in speaking, they may get less marks. In the report card, you may show it as only 60%, 75% average. So then, for a third party who judges them, he will not be able to judge correctly. I told you, if a 6th class boy has to play badminton against another 10th class, it is unjust. He has to play against another 6th class boy. 10th class boy has to play against 10th class boys. Then only you can say whether it's good or not. So, uniform assessment system must be there today or tomorrow. It will come into practice. They themselves will tell you, if they don't take this also into practice, a time will come when the need will come and it will happen. Uniform assessment must be done. But what kind of uniform assessment? Giving maximum freedom to teachers, keeping little do's and don'ts. See, these kind of activities perform anyone. But basic things don't compromise. Similarly, assessments, there are certain things, don't compromise. Any other thing you can devise. 80% freedom, 20% reins must be there in a central body of all campuses, which should be the central HOD kind of thing. Swami said HODs, and there must be one overall HOD kind of thing, central body, who should be actually monitoring this examination process or test process, which should be in accordance with activity-based criteria, activity-based method. Not pen paper test, no more. Pen paper, anyway, it has to be done for 12th standard, not more than that. 10th, most probably from next year you may not have board exam from 10th, for 10th also. Because if national education policy comes into effect, probably in 10th also exam will not be there, right from next year. But if it is there, probably next year, 1 year may be there. But today or tomorrow, this year or next year, it will be implemented. Therefore, only 12th standard examination. And 8th class examination is a school-based examination. It is not board exam. So we have lot of long rope given to us by Swami. Why Swami has done this? So that you will get time. You don't have to worry about exams. You will have time to prepare them for basics. This is the chance he has given to us. So, and he has told, even in 12th standard exam, suppose some questions, if you feel it is irrelevant, convince the children, convince them and telling them that doesn't matter if you lose 20 marks, I don't care, I will see only for 80 marks. He has gone to that extent and told that. So that's about the necessity of uniform assessment system, why it is required. I have just now explained. It may lead to wrong conclusions otherwise, wrong comparisons. In order to have a proper comparison, you must require uniform assessments. And what should be that? So one simple way of understanding is, from 7th class to 10th class, 12th class, you must have this LSRW, 7th to 12th. LSRW should be assessed. How it should be assessed? Leaving the 8th board exam or final exam, every month have test for 20 marks. This is just a proposal, 20 or 25, including grammar if you want. For higher class, you can have grammar. So 7th to 12th, there should be no difference at all. It should be all LSRW because all aspects we have to test. And instead of depending upon one textbook for LSRW, devise separate syllabus. Don't depend on one textbook like state syllabus or some CBSE. Every book will have some deficiency, some good lessons, some bad lessons. You have to have your own textbook. Swami said, write your own textbook. Selecting good poems, selecting good chapters for each class to their standard. And what is that standard? Once you give them good foundation, don't compromise with the standard. Go for CBSE kind of standard. Go for ICSE kind of standard. Because you've given them foundation. Now why do you compromise? Give them a challenge. Select very good ones. Don't make it easy for them. Make it little more tough if you want necessary. That's not a problem. Therefore, LSRW should be the common assessment, should be the common syllabus also. L, it should have a separate syllabus for which after showing them, giving them plenty of exposures, this kind of activities for listening tasks should be conducted and reading out and then, poem recitation, listening. You recite, they should be able to afterwards, recite one or read out one chapter. Any kind of listening activity, only for that marks should be given, 5 marks. Similarly, reading, speaking, you must have all these activities, you can conduct assessment. Reading must have its own syllabus, our own selected chapters. Reading, let me tell you this one, when we make our own textbooks, why I want to point out this particular thing is, children, they go by the presentation of the book. I don't say state syllabus is bad. State textbook is bad. I don't say that. But the problem is, see, if the get-up of the book, the presentation is not good enough, pictures are not there, it is not attractive, children like it. What appeals to the children, we must provide it at any cost, no compromise. Swami will never say, Swami says, no, laksha killa, anta Swami had told. He doesn't care for money. Any prerequisite, you want projector for every class, Swami will provide it. God has come for that. Why we should worry? We as principals or wardens or we as teachers, we start worrying about other things, thinking that how it can happen. We will not get projectors, we will not be able to do this. Don't worry about how. It will be provided. Provided you all demand for it in a nice way, you all appeal for it, you all request for it in a nice way. Tell the necessity of it, how it is indispensable. Therefore, projectors, all these are necessary for all this. So, reading our own textbook should be so full of, it should be so attractive, the front cover page, back cover, should have pictures, it must have different pictures, quality of the page should be very good. You see the state book of Karnataka book, English books, so dull it is. No pictures and the printing is so dull. Will anyone feel like reading that kind of book? You see the others, see NCRT book, one of the worst I have found, NCRT. I don't know if you are aware of this, NCRT, not CBSE, NCRT books from 6th to 10th, absolutely demoralizing. No pictures, small book, printing also small, absolutely waste. So we must have our own book which is written by our own experts, selecting good things. Not only that, the presentation, the cover page, everything should be so colorful it should be. And the quality of the page should be very good, 150 GSM. We must have good quality of page, 150 or 180, so that people will read like, feel like reading. We are writing Paravidya books. Swami is not at all compromising with the quality. You know what, one Paravidya books till now we have done about, till 9th class, 10th class also is ready, but it's going to come out now. Each book will cost around 700, 500 or 500, between 500 to 1000 probably. Swami is giving free to every child of every campus, Paravidya books. And it is so beautiful, for every shloka, everything has got one story connected with that, pictures. For one picture from an illustrator, how much money Swami is paying? If you know, you'll be flabbergasted. Anyway, coming to this next, because Swami showed us one book, the Sathya Sai Divya Katha, Swami showed us in an interview and told, this is the quality of the page that I want, he told in the interview. This is the kind of book that we require. And that book was, one picture, it was around 7,000 to 8,000 rupees, one picture by an illustrator. Imagine how many pictures you would have drawn, just for pictures only how much it will cost, quality of page, how costly it is. Swami never cares for all that, because Swami wants to give what has to be given. It has to be given. So let us not worry about the cost and all, whether it will be available. We have to present it, that we have to require prerequisites. These are a must. Almirah, dictionaries, 4-line book. This is a must for every English teacher. Then reading skills, writing skills, then grammar, skill of using dictionary, that also should be assessed for all higher classes also. Even higher classes should not be left. Though they have learnt, you must keep assessing that. Grammar also, not for 6th. In general, small tests for 20 marks should be conducted through various activities by the subject teacher once in a month. And the aggregate of the average of all these marks can be taken as his overall performance with grade system at the end of the year. What is grade system? Yeah. How you can follow? Now tell me, brothers and sisters, to make a lesson plan, do we make daily lesson plans, or do we make weekly lesson plans, or do we make monthly lesson plans? How do we make lesson plans? We have to make some plan, because without planning, definitely we will not be able to do well. Now if you go blindly to the class, what should be taught? We don't know. We have to plan anyway. How should we plan? Let's say weekly lesson plan. We can't do everyday lesson plan. We can't do once in a month. It is too long. Therefore, let's say weekly lesson plan. How it should be. LSRW, how are we going to do it? Now, till now, just think. Has it not been random for you? Has it not been random for you? It was not in an organized way, right? Teaching has not been in an organized way. But can we make it more organized? Let us come to think of this. Can we make it more organized? And one just you show me. One, you can just share with that. See, listening, for example, this is for 10th grade I'm talking. Now, some of them, they said they have board exam and all that. So, we are going to cater to that. How are we going to do 10th or 12th? Say, let's say, for example, for 10th, they already know how to do phonetics and everything. Let's just imagine. They know phonetics and all that. So, cover all this in a week. Keep some fixed planning for it. So that the parents also will know that there is some systematic planning involved in teaching. They don't, cross that. It's not done in a disorganized way, in a haphazard manner. How it is done? Say, for example, Monday. Listening is most important. Just now we came to know, even Vinod brother was telling that we were not given to listening. So only when he got exposures through sports meet and this, that, then he started listening and he improved in English. So listening is most important. Monday, Tuesday, keep for listening. 2 days, don't compromise. Even for 10th. Even with all their board exam, keep 2 days for listening. Just let them enjoy. 2 days for listening. Then reading. These inputs, don't forget at all. Inputs. Reading, keep 2 days. Book reading. See, even in listening, plan something. For example, Monday, if you say religious discourses, say Swami speeches, say Isha Sadgurus, or say somebody else, T.T. Rangarajan's speeches you can put, or you can put, TED Talks. TED Talks? TED Talks, or you can put some other beautiful speech by some other great person. Okay, even, so good, you have to select good ones. All English. And then second day you have to put listening to news is very important. News listening, it improves our accent very well. So listening to news. Then Wednesday and Thursday, you can keep reading. Reading what? Say for example, first day you can keep something like, straight from the heart. You can prescribe some book for 10th class. It's not just their textbook. Prescribe some book, straight from the heart. Or you can prescribe some story divine or Kripashaya. Some book you have to prescribe, some good book. Or C. Rajgopalachari's Ramayana. Or C. Rajgopalachari's Mahabharata. Or Sudha Murthy's. Any one book you prescribe. And one day, once in a week, let them read that. Once in a week. Keep those books in the, give it to them only. Thursday. Every Thursday you can keep another book, reading with the help of dictionaries. So 2 days you keep reading. 2 days listening, 2 days reading. Next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, let us cater to examination. Because they have examination. Let us cater to examination. So they have examination question paper pattern. Question paper pattern, we have to train them. Because they have to face off 100 marks question. So QP pattern. So let's say literature. Once in a week, literature. First, every Friday literature, or say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll do literature. Next, in the question paper pattern, suppose we have reading. Reading part will be there in the question paper. Next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll do reading. Next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll do writing. And next, so once in a month they'll be doing, so you'll have 5-6 months, you'll cover quite good enough. And you'll give them good enough of practice, a good amount of practice for board examinations. So this way, 3 days a week for examination. Practically also you're helping them for exam. And you're planning it out. You're planning listening also. And how are you going to also train them for speaking? Every day, 5 minutes make them speak. One student, every day, one student, 10th class, he should come here and speak. 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Alpakshara Ramaniyam yah kathayati nishchitam sakhalu vagmi. The one who speaks charmingly in a few words is indeed an orator. So you just encourage them to speak in few words. 2 minutes is enough. So every day every day one boy should speak one at the end of the class, 2 minutes. So that's how we can do speaking. And then every day tell them you write in your leisure time or study time. You have to be ready with 2 pages of cursive writing. Give marks for that. Not in the classroom. You don't have to waste time in the classroom. Tell them they have learnt it already. Every day cursive writing should be catered. That's how. See, you are covering everything for 10th class. You are covering everything, including examination pattern. You are not leaving examination also. You are catering to that practical difficulty because they have exam. But what you are doing is you are giving that also, because tomorrow they have 9, 10, 11, 12th also tomorrow. So they may require something. They may feel that, we have done so much for them. Otherwise, only examination, not good enough. So let's say now I give for 7th class. Now this is for 7th. This is all just an idea. You can always change this. You can always change this. One I have given for 10th, one for 7th class. Please distribute. 7th class. How do you do for 7th standard? Lesson plans, weekly lesson plans. Little different because there is no board exam kind of thing. One you give. Yeah. One you give. 7th class, it is slightly different. So we'll finish well in time because I was particular about time. I should not take more. 7th class is slightly different. See, for example, now we know that suppose we know 6th class we have done enough of all these basic exercises. 7th onwards normal. You have to teach, you have to prose, poem, everything. So let's keep all this now. Monday, say for example, always listening. LSRW should come in order. First, one day a week listening, audio visuals, narrating stories. Sometimes you should narrate stories. I'll end with narrating one beautiful incident. How we can tell that in classes also, it's an example. Tuesday, reading with the help of dictionary. Wednesday, reading with the help of dictionary. 2 days you can give for reading. Listening they would have already done. In 6th class, enough listening they would have done it, isn't it? So keep once in a week listening. Reading 2 days. Thursday, 1 day a week, speaking activities. Just conduct activities once in a week. Friday, creative writing. Once in a week, you give them some writing. You write on the board, they will write. They'll copy from the board. So this is something, And Saturday, grammar you can teach. Grammar and phonetics. Once in a week, you can revise. And every day, 2 pages of cursive writing. Every day, 2 pages of cursive. And encourage speaking also if you want. 2 minutes of speaking. Every day, speaking for 2 minutes in the class. Encourage that from 7th onwards. If they are ready for it. So this is one kind of plan where you are catering to LSRW. See what happens too much of, in one period only you can't do everything, chow chow baz, it becomes 10 minutes of listening, 10 minutes of speaking. Just give 1 day listening completely, let them enjoy for half an hour completely, let them see some audio visual. 1 day full for cursive writing, this creative writing. It requires some time for the teacher to write, you can't do it in just 10. It is all good to say, 20 minutes attention span. Within the winking of an eye, the time will fly. The time will fly. Teacher will not be able to, because he has to control the students also. Discipline also will be a problem. Therefore, this is one thing which you have to keep it in mind. 7th, and these are the lesson plan. Now, the next part will be the yearly plan. What should be the yearly plan if lesson plan is made? So before actually lesson plan, we should do the yearly plan. We have distributed that. Let me take you through this quickly. Here itself, all of you see here, kindly. Objectives. So yearly plan, as I told you in the beginning, first we have to have the objectives at the end of 12th class. So if you want to have a yearly plan, whichever class you are teaching, you must know what they should achieve it after 12th class. So we have already dealt with it in the first period, first day itself. Objectives at the end of 12th class. Then we have to come to objectives of teaching English for 6th class level. Keeping in mind the objectives of 12th class. So this is one thing. Then common broad-based syllabus you form it based on all these things. Different audio visuals, speaking skills, reading skills, writing skills. Then grammar is not for 6th class. All other things you can have syllabus for grammar. We shall provide you. And then special syllabus designed only for 6th class, I have already told once again, listening skills, revision of alphabets, phonetics, cursive handwriting, informal reading. And how do you teach phonetics for children? First month, you can have only listening comprehension, just for warming up activity, or just to give interest to them. And afterwards say, unless you learn phonetics, we'll not now continue with audio visuals. First, you should learn. First, you win their heart by showing for 1 month only audio visuals. They'll be very happy. Then you stop audio visuals completely and say that you are now going to pick up phonetics. Otherwise, we are not going to continue. Then they will know that they have some task. That's how they have to do it. So second month, you can, along with listening comprehension, or you can stop and start phonetics. So this is one way of doing. As I told you, you can do either handwriting only first few months, or you can do along with all other things, which we have already described. All these things, you have to plan for every month how it should be done. So this is in short yearly plan. And common assessment pattern, we have already done once again. The entire thing comes under yearly plan. All this plan comes under yearly plan. What all writing skills should be there, what all, these things should be there, how the assessment should be done, 20-25 marks every month, 5 marks each for LSRW. And grade system should be this. And assessment for 6th is only for phonetics and this. Again and again, we are repeating this. Don't have any tension for 6th class and start assuming many things for 6th class. That will be sufficient. Then only you can enjoy as a teacher and as a student. Then coming to prerequisites, revision. One last thing I will take you to through this one kind of presentation. Quickly you can get a bird's eye view. Psychology of learning. Just see the screen. You can switch off the lights. Kindly switch off the light. Psychology of language learning, LSRW. What is T? Just now Vinod told. Thinking in English. So we have added T also. Listening, speaking, reading, thinking and writing. Thinking in English. See, listening, speaking, reading, thinking. Then listening. What is listening? Sources of listening. Where do you get? You speak at home, sometimes with parents, if at all. Teachers in the classroom. Elders' conversation sometimes, whenever possible. Peers' conversation. Audio visuals. News, documentaries, films, etc. Speaking, how and where, answering to the teacher's questions, conversing with peers, which are the occasions when you speak. Activities in the class like discussions, prepared speech, elocutions, debates, symposiums, skits and dramas. Where does reading happen? What are the different types of reading? Mainly through informal reading of storybooks, comics, good novels, newspapers, biographies, autobiographies, philosophical books or religious books, etc. Formal reading of the prose and poems of the prescribed syllabus also is one source. How does writing take place? Psychomotor skills. Why learn cursive handwriting? Because joining handwriting helps to write fast in the examinations. And cursive style is it looks beautiful and appealing for the reader. What are the prerequisites of accurate writing? Cursive notebooks, 4-line notebook, practice of copywriting regularly, knowledge of punctuation, knowledge of grammar. What is the source of punctuation and grammar? How does a child learn punctuation and grammar? Reading and applying it in. See, whenever you read only, you come to know where a full stop has to be put, where a question mark has to be put, where punctuation should be put. When you read books, you understand. And when you copy from the board, seeing the teacher, we understand. Copywriting, we understand. Creative writing, speaking. The importance of dictionary, original pronunciation, phonetics, contextual meanings. Dictionary will also give you contextual meanings. One word will have 10 meanings sometimes. One word will have 10 meanings, different meanings in different contexts. Amazing thing it is. And light on grammar concepts. Dictionary also provides some light on grammar also. It teaches grammar. Phonetics. What is phonetics? It is the science of pronunciation. Symbols used for basic sounds. Vowels, mixed vowels, consonants. Syllable, 1 unit of pronunciation at a stretch. Upper stress, lower stress. How to pronounce using the dictionary. Decode the phonetic symbols given against the word in the dictionary. Observe the lower and the upper stress and pronounce accordingly. Some examples. Abduct. Admit. Combine. Confirmation. See, this is what I told you. This is taken from Internet. I told you why internet is faulty. Can you make out a fault, dear brothers and sisters? Confirmation. Can you make out one fault from the internet? What is given? As given, right? As given. Actually, it is Asian. Confirmation. It is not mation. It is not confirmation. You see the dictionary? It will be confirmation. But they have given here confirmation. So that is the difficulty. Sometimes they make mistakes. Therefore, the standard one where there is no mistake, that is the dictionary, this Longman's and Oxford. Then condition, elaborate. See, again, elaborate. There also it is given elaborate. I have taken this from internet, but the mistake is clearly evident. If you depend only on this one, it will be misled. You will be misled. And then you come to some more examples of this. Strength. Oh. What is this? Okay, no problem. Pumpkin. Shield. This is correct. Doubt. Correct. Oxford. Correct. See, Oxford is wrong, I think. Oxford. Correct. Oxford. Theater. Okay. Vocabulary. What are the different types of vocabulary? What is vocabulary? Stock of the whole range of words in our subconscious mind. Vocabulary is of two types, active vocabulary, passive vocabulary. Active vocabulary is the words which come to our consciousness and we use it in our daily life. What is passive vocabulary? The words which does not flash when we want to talk, but nevertheless, we know it as they are present deep in our subconscious. We know it, but it doesn't flash. How to read and speak. Criteria for reading. Fluency, pronunciation, intonation, modulation, pause, stress. How to write? What is the criteria? Equal gap between the letters, equal gap between the words, joining and cursive handwriting, uniformity in angling in the words. Either all words straight or all words slanting. Grammar. For whom? For the learned. Language cannot be learned through grammar. Impossible. You cannot learn language through grammar. Through grammar you cannot learn. The purpose of grammar, it only hones the skill of using language already learned in a better way. Best reference book for grammar is Wren and Martin. Grammar in a nutshell. Quickly, if you have to take through, just quickly, if in a minute or two. Sentence. What is a sentence? Group of words which make sense. Correct? What is a subject and predicate part of a sentence? Subject, you are talking about that subject mainly. Predicate is what that subject is doing, what is happening to that. Sentence is a group of sentence, makes sense. Part of speech, noun. It's a name of a place, name or thing, verb, words that show action. What is an adjective? Words that describe noun. Adverb, words that describe verbs or adds to the meaning of the verbs. What is preposition? That links the word to another word. And noun to another word. What is pronoun? Words used instead of nouns. What is a conjunction? Words which join words, sentences or clauses. For example, therefore, conjunction, but or and, or maybe there are some other conjunctions. Whenever, interjection, short exclamations inserted into sentences, types of nouns, proper noun, collective noun, abstract nouns. Types of verbs. What is proper noun? Name of particular specific things. Collective noun, collective noun. Types of verbs, modals or auxiliaries or helping verbs. Finite and non-finite verb. Gerunds and participles. Transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. So you can't go into detail. I didn't get time to go into detail today. Grammar part was not, grammar is not very, very important. You can do it yourself. Many books are there. Types of pronouns, different types of pronouns. Word used instead of a noun. What are adjectives which describes the noun? Different types of adjectives, different types of adjectives. Articles, use of a or an. Phrases and clauses. Types of phrases, types of clauses, types of sentences. Simple, compound and complex sentence. And transformation of sentence. And now it is 1:16. Exactly 1 minute extra. So we have finished the whole package of English. Just a word or two before we complete and submit ourselves to Swami. We have completed the entirety of it. And when these things are formed, this what Swami has told, HODs can be formed in every campuses and all that. We will correspond to more, we'll give more help and soft copies. We'll try to prepare the soft copies and send by that time. Until then, we'll keep helping you individually. When things are done, what Swami has told, when it is materialized, we are going to make it formally also. We are going to supply you with, we are going to prepare all that. Till now we have prepared all this much just for your, sake. So just to conclude it, dear brothers and sisters, it was a great time for me personally to share what little we got by Swami's grace. Nothing happens without Swami's grace. Absolutely nothing happens without Swami's grace. This is my first-hand experience. And umpty number of experiences are there. If I have to conclude with just telling you how Swami's grace helps you, I once met with a major accident. Major accident. I was going in a car near Kolar, and beside me, Vasudev sir. You all know Vasudev sir, no? He was sitting beside me, and behind one youth was there. Suddenly what happened, one tempo came in front of me, and I lost control. I was going to, as a superintendent, to conduct that exam in KGF, and my car completely toppled. Completely toppled. And like James Bond movie, it started skidding from one place to another. And at the nick of the time, what I did? I shouted Om Shri Sai Ram 3 times. Swami says, the time of danger, if you remember me, or whatever Swami has given, ring or a talisman, it acts as a connect, and it connects Swami to you. That moment I shouted Om Shri Sai Ram 3 times, and I don't know how I came outside. After coming outside somehow in that state of shock, I saw that my car had become Apache. It became Gonichila. It is called, it had become completely demolished, out of shape. What was rectangular shaped car, it became like, completely something like pushed and crushed into, shapeless body, mass of thing. And I said, where is Vasudev sir? Are they crushed inside? And how have I come out? Then I started wondering whether my limbs are cut. I thought I was in a state of shock. So I just started touching my hands and legs, and I found that everything was intact. My hands and legs were not cut. And I was as strong as usual. Then I saw not even one scratch on my body. And my car is out of shape. And then comes out Vasudev sir. God knows how I came out, and God knows how he came out. He's coming like this. Have you seen a Vasudev sir? I don't know whether you've seen. He comes out like this. And he stood. Then I thought, let me check him first. If his limbs are cut or something. I started touching his, legs, and I found nothing has happened to him except for a small, kind of some bruise, very small. And I told him, he was in a state of shock like this. He thought something has happened to him. I said, sir, nothing has happened. You are fine. Nothing has happened to you. Then he said, he became his normal self. And then there's the other person who's stuck inside. He's shouting, sir, help me, remove me. We thought something has happened to him. And the car was so crushed that we didn't know how to open the door. And there was a small gap of the window. From window only, we started pulling out, like, dead body we pull out from some caricature of the car. We started pulling out his body. And then outside he comes and says, sir, I enjoyed this accident. It was so nice, sir. We just enjoyed, sir. We were adventurous. I said, nothing has happened to you? Nothing, sir. You see, I'm perfectly fine. I said, thank goodness. All three of us fine, and the car has become Apache Gonichila. And then the people started gathering there, and they said, are you alive? I said, yeah. Then are we dead? What are you seeing? We are not ghosts. And then those people said, how are you alive? I don't know. What do you mean by how are you alive? They said, see, how could you be alive in such a kind of accident? Meeting such a kind of accident. Then, they took me to the police station. We all went very happily, let this car go to hell. The police station, you should have seen. They brought the tempo driver. Somehow these people only brought the tempo driver, who was drunk actually. And look at the miracle which happened. The police inspector who was there, who was actually monitoring all this, he said, sir, he started scolding us at first. You look like educated men, and you don't keep your what we say. I had not got this car converted to my name, into my name, because it was in my father's name actually. And as a result, what happened? I could not apply for what we say that complaint. What is that complaint that we can give? FIR. I could not do that because it was not in my name. So he started scolding me outright. That police inspector, he said, "You look like an educated P. You all look like very educated, and you don't know this much. FIR you can't do now." Then he said, "From where are you? From where have you come?" I said, "From Sathya Sai." I said, "Sathya Sai." Sorry, sir. I'm extremely sorry. See, Sathya Sai institution means how much respect they give. Immediately, I became a hero. Sir, come back now. Let me take chance. Then he said, "Sorry, sir." And then he brought that culprit came there. He said, "Sir, if you tell I don't have all this, he will start taking advantage. Just tell them I will put FIR." So I started telling him, "I'm going to put FIR now. Either pay me or I'm going to put that fellow." He pleaded, he did all that sound. Finally, he gave me 30,000. That police inspector said, "Pay 30,000, otherwise FIR." So we got that cash, and then that fellow left. And then one person suddenly comes in from somewhere and he says, "Sir, I know, I am your student. Do you remember?" I said, "What?" "I know, I don't remember anything." Then he said, "What has happened to your car?" See, Apache and Gonichila. That's all happened. Then he said, "Give me your key." I said, "This Apache car, who wants? Keep it." I thought it will go to Gujri. Gujri? The broken cars and all, we put it. No, I thought it will not come back. Then he said, "I will try my best and get it back to you." I said, "I thought it was a dream. He's simply joking." I said, "Okay, try your best and get back to me." I took his phone number and then went. I didn't have any car, nothing. I have to go and conduct examination. Now, we just got down we just get into a bus and we have no money to pay, nothing, everything is gone in that car. And conductor says, "We have met with an accident, we have no money, please drop in Kolar." So he drops us in Kolar. There, suddenly a phone call comes. See the miracles how Swami saves us. Suddenly a phone call comes and he says, "Sir, where are you going?" "I'm in Kolar. I'm just coming there." He comes and says, "Where are you going, sir?" I'm saying, "I'm going to conduct this exam." "How are you going?" "I don't know. We are just, at a loss to know." Then he says, "Take my car. Take this key. Keep this car with you as long as you want. Give me whenever you want." I said, "What?" "Okay." Then I took the car. Once again, we are driving towards the school. We go and conduct the exam. I take that car back to my Mudenelli. People thought I have purchased new car. Anand Krishna said, "One more new car." It was somebody's car. And I was going, 1 month I took that car, I used that car. And after 1 month, this person comes to me and phones to me, "Sir, your car is ready." I said, "What? Car is ready? This Gonichila car, Apache car." I had a curiosity. I went to Saidam. He had kept that car there. And what do I see? Brand new car. He has made it once again brand new. I couldn't believe my eyes. Such Apache car crushed. Can it come back to normalcy? And that is how Swami not only saves your life, but he gives you everything. He's a kalpa vriksha, dear sisters and brothers. He gave us an opportunity to teach some English few years back. And some things we made and we have shared what little we know. It is just a model for all of you. You can always, by and large, you can always do any amount of changes for it. It is not a hard and fast rule. We want to actually give freedom to teachers. All that we are asking is, we teachers must become more free and enjoy that liberty of carrying out creative activities in our own way. Others should not force us. They should not force us to finish for exam or this, that. We are here to give joy to everybody, not to threaten or anything. So we have all learned some things in this 1 week by Swami's immense grace. See, when you surrender to Swami, how Swami takes over. Once I was in Madam's, here Madam is there sitting. She is from Udupi campus. Once I went to Udupi campus, I was sitting, I had not prepared, I didn't get time to prepare anything. Okay, every campus I was going and speaking to staff and students. Swami told me, speak about me, speak about Bhagavata, everything, speak to the staff and students. I went there, I just bowed down to Swami and said, "Swami, speak through me, Swami." Intensely I prayed to Swami, you have to take care of me, Swami, no preparation. Then started coming one by one, all those incidents, miracles, jokes at the right time. And Amma, how much time? 3 hours. 3 hours. 3 hours went by and the children don't know. I also don't know. And I'm telling miracles upon miracles. I'm telling about jokes that they're right. Then after 3 hours, we come to know 3 hours are over. How Swami takes over. If we do as Swami told during this Premamritam session, he told what? If God joined Madhyal Narayan Bhatt and therefore it succeeded. Madhyal Narayan Bhatt did not succeed on his own. He did not succeed. He could succeed only with 2 institutions. He wanted 10. If God joins you, you can do great work. God will make that come out of it. No, he will join us. His force will join us, and therefore he does it. So therefore, let us, once, N. Kasturi Garu, Kasturi Garu? Kasturi Garu? Once he entered a examination hall where examinations he had to conduct, and he saw that he has given wrong question papers. He was a university professor. He had distributed wrong question papers unknowingly. Immediately there was a shock for him. He took away all the question papers back, and he went by and he went to his room and started crying profusely. Swami, I have become old. I have become totally old. My memory is gone. Don't ask me to do any more work. Then when he met Swami in Puttaparthi, Swami, he said, Swami, relieve me from all work. I just want to lead a retired life. Swami said, you keep continuing doing mistakes. I'll from behind keep backing you and correcting you. Don't worry. So what a sentence Swami said, see. Like that, we also have to move forward, irrespective of our mistakes, irrespective of all our shortcomings. Let us keep moving forward in a creative way. Let us convince our elders in a nice way to win their hearts and take more freedom and give the justice to children. Let us think of the children's plight. With these few words, I offer all this at the lotus feet of Swami. Thank you so much for giving me so much joy. Thanks. Thanks. Over to Sister Lata.
Dear brothers and sisters, and Swami's very own children, interns. So today marks the culmination of our 6-day workshop, English workshop. Not only that, it also marks the culmination of the probably 18 years of sadhana that Ananta Krishna brother has put together to bring up something in such a comprehensive way. And this is Swami's very own work. There's no doubt about it. As Ananta Krishna brother himself has said, we are really fortunate and very, very grateful to Ananta Krishna brother for making us all aware that you, we are lagging behind. Somewhere we need to change, move forward as teachers. And it is Swami's grace. He has planted a small seed. Swami has planted the small seed in the form of this workshop. And of course, he will make sure that it grows into a big tree because it is his work. And all the young teachers and the interns will be the one, as he specifically emphasized. My interns will carry forward the English teaching. So this is just the beginning, and the tree will grow as per Swami's Sankalpa. So thank you all for this. Thank you.